And welcome in live stream. Dallas Mavericks free agency happening right now. Decided to just go live, see what happens. Let's have some fun with it. Hopefully my internet is good because right now it does not look like it's holding up. Am I coming in hot? Am I coming in hot? It is lagging a little. Yeah, it is lagging a lot. What's going on with this? Okay, I think we caught up. All right. Thank you for jumping into the Locked On Mavs live stream. Nick Angstadt here, host of Locked On Mavericks, 5-day-a-week Dallas Mavericks podcast, and we talk about the Mavs every single day here on this show. If you're watching this or listening on the podcast feed, this is going to be a live reaction. I'm starting at 4 p.m. Central Time, and we're just going to see what happens. We're going to talk about some of the things that will happen. We'll react to them in real time. I may have some friends join. We may have some news that breaks for the Mavericks. We'll talk about that. We'll absolutely do an actual Dallas Locked On Mavericks show and show a little bit later. And the Wi-Fi is definitely not locked in. No, it is not on the live stream. I've had such internet issues. I'm going to put Spectrum on complete blast on this one because my Ethernet cables just stopped working. Looks like it's doing a little bit better. Let me know in the stream if it works or if it's lagging or anything like that. And I don't know what I can do to fix it. This is why I don't stream that much, because of how bad my internet has been recently. But Slightly is gone, and so I was like, all right, well, somebody needs to get going, and somebody needs to stream on this, because we absolutely need it. Somebody needed to fill that spot. And guess what? I'm not the stepdad. I'm the dad that stepped up. Right now, the Dallas Mavericks, if we're talking about figuring out what the Dallas Mavericks are doing, what it seems like right now is the Dallas Mavericks
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
They've got a seat at the table. And it may not be the guy that you want. I've already seen some people say, I don't want Klay Thompson with the Dallas Mavericks. I get that. I completely get that you don't want Klay Thompson with the Dallas Mavericks. I understand that at this point. I understand why you wouldn't want him there, but I have the same kind of questions about Klay Thompson. But you cannot turn down the idea that the Dallas
is going to get a seat at the table.
That they have a seat at the table. That they're there. That they've got a meeting or offer or whatever. They've got a spot to talk to Klay Thompson, one of the best free agents that are out there right now. Slightly, everybody's asking where Slightly is. Slightly is in Europe. Slightly is on a vacation. He decided to take a vacation. He decided to be away. And so something that we're going to do, I'm going to try to do on this stream. I've got Twitter pulled up for you right here, and we're going to do, maybe I'll do this more often than not. I've got Twitter pulled up, and I've got the list. You and I will come up with a list of things for Slightly. So Slightly is going to be gone. He's going to try to stay away from his computer for the entire time. Stay away from notifications, news, all that kind of stuff, especially like the little stuff. And so he's going to try to stay away from it. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to host him. I'm going to host on his stream, and I'm going to list all the things that happened. I'm going to list all the different things that happened for Slightly. And so it's going to be super fun. So we'll keep a running list of them there. We've got Twitter going on the right side if you want to watch, if you can watch that. Let's do that instead, because that seems to be is this a better user experience? If you watch, can you read the Twitter on the side, and then my video is smaller so that it doesn't make as big of a thing. The Mavericks right now, Klay Thompson, they're in on him. There's talks between the Mavericks and Klay. There's talks between the Lakers and Klay, the Clippers and Klay. I don't understand the Lakers part of it. I don't understand how the Clippers can get the money. They may lose Paul George. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The Lakers part of it, LeBron is going to take less money. It seems like LeBron is going to, he turned down his deal. His $51 million. Imagine being able to turn down $51 million. Insight says, I'm playing this at 144p. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to read anything if you're only reading it at 144p. All right, I'll do this. I'll leave the camera small, and I'll have Twitter up on the side so we can watch some of the news things come in, and see all at the same time. We'll see when this stuff happens. Klay Thompson. Let me give you the pitch for Klay, because I think there's a lot. I see a lot in the chat about about people not wanting Klay. Alex just said Klay not for the money he wants. It depends on what money he wants. He turned down a deal for with the Warriors. Turns out he turned down a deal like 120 million, something like that, and he feels disrespected and wants wants a fresh start. Chris Haynes reported that he wants a fresh start, and so if he wants that, feels disrespected by the Warriors, maybe he'll want to take less somewhere else. Jake Fisher reported that he'll take less to go to LA, take less to go to the Lakers or the Clippers and do that. Couple other people. Connor said, don't get Klay, he is cooked. Now, here's the thing about Klay Thompson. Okay. In the offseason, the Dallas Mavericks so far have just taken Tim Hardaway and made him Quentin Grimes. It was not science. It was not a biological experiment. It was just a trade. Well, they turned him into Quentin Grimes. And if they can turn Josh Green's contract into Klay Thompson, which is what it would be right now, then all of a sudden you've upgraded from Josh Green to Quentin Grimes. I believe that's an upgrade. Some other people don't, but I do. And then you've upgraded from Tim Hardaway to Klay Thompson. That's it. How could you not want that upgrade? For all the complaining that has been done about Tim Hardaway Jr., the inconsistency of the shooting, the defense, all that kind of stuff, at least Klay is a credible defender. He's not a good defender anymore. He's not a great defender anymore, but he's also not a liability on defense. And I think that is notable. I think that is super notable at this point. And so I think that you can't look at it and go, oh, well, the starting lineup will be bad or the defense will be bad with Klay. Let Kidd figure that out. Let Jason Kidd figure that part out. And have Nico Harrison just bring in the upgrades. I don't think, Amar just said, do you think Klay is okay coming off the bench? No, I think Nico Harrison's going to have to make some promises. Sure. I think he'll have to come in and make promises and be like, hey, I think Klay, you're going to, you're going to be a starter. Like we have such a big role for you, all that kind of stuff. Sure. He's going to have to make those kind of promises to him. But I think that at a certain point during the season, I think that you can have Jason Kidd try and figure out how to make this work and figure out how to make it happen. I don't think that's a big deal. So think about it in this sense. If you're against Klay Thompson, if you're against the idea of Klay Thompson, just think about it as an upgrade on Tim Hardaway Jr. He won't come off the bench. He'll start and do all that. But if you keep Derrick Jones Jr. and you have Quentin Grimes now, you at least still have those same type of lineups that you started with to close with potentially. And imagine all the shots that Derrick Jones Jr. was getting in the corner and that Maxey was getting at the top of the key and that, that Tim Hardaway Jr. was getting. Klay Thompson is now getting those shots. That's the case for Klay Thompson. It makes a lot of sense. Who said not if he bricks threes? He's not. Jason, I'm watching just like you guys, Kid. We'll figure stuff out. Honestly,
I'm not playing. I'm watching just like you guys.
I'm done doubting Jason Kidd. He just took a team to the NBA Finals. I'm done. You got to now give him credit, and you've got to be like, all right, this is the guy. He's the coach. He'll figure it out. He's got this team in a spot where they feel good. They felt good about their roles. He figured out how to do the Gafford Lively thing. He figured out how to do the Derrick Jones Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr. thing. He figured that all the way into the end, and the Mavs just got outclassed by talent. And so, yeah, put the problem of Klay Thompson in the starting lineup, closing lineups, whatever. Put that problem on Jason Kidd. Put it on Jason Kidd. He'll figure it out. He'll figure out what's happening. We got 50 minutes. Let's start doing some questions. Let's start going through and put some questions in the chat. Let's see what kind of questions we can get. There hasn't been a lot of news. Oh, I guess there's a couple other news stories, but here's one. Spencer coming back. That's the other thing I'm interested in. So our friend CBA Mavs, get ready for this. If you can't read the tweets on the screen right now, get ready to not be able to read this. Our friend CBA Mavs created this, where this is how the Mavs can create another roster spot, get Klay Thompson, keep Derrick Jones Jr., and also have the biannual exception. So Klay Thompson, 3-year, $52 million deal, $18 million to start, $17 million the next year, $17 million the year after that, and it's an option, a team option. That'd be ideal. That'd be great. I don't know if they're getting that, but they could. Derrick Jones Jr. on the full mid-level, that'd be a great deal for him. And then you also get the biannual exception, $4.68 million. That's an option where you can bring in Spencer Dinwiddie or somebody like that, another ball handler, things like that. You can figure. everybody's like mega squinting the eyes. Here we go. How about this? Is this better? That's bigger. So this is how you figure out how to get a Spencer Dinwiddie type. You put him into the biannual exception. And then I think this roster has a lot of things that, to figure out, and a lot of things to work, but a lot of things to work with. A lot of things to figure out, but a lot of things to work with. And so it's all right now. There's a lot of people that are talking about, can they do this? Can they do this? What kind of exception? It's a lot of order operations. It depends on what the Mavs want to do. It depends on what order the Mavs want to do it in. 50 minutes, 48 minutes left until free agency. We'll see what happens. Would Najee Marshall take a biannual exception? I think so. I think Najee Marshall would take a biannual exception. Najee Marshall last year, if we just go with what he made last year. Well, let's do this. Let's do it this way. Najee Marshall's not made a ton of money in his career, and he was not like a really high-level player for the Pelicans. He played 19 minutes a game last year, played 66 games, but only started one. And he made $1.7 million last year. He made $1.5 million the year before that, and he made $120,000 his first year in the league on a two-way contract. So 4.6 would be a great deal for Najee Marshall if that's what he wants. He made $1.9 million last year. Sorry. But still, I think that Najee Marshall would take a biannual exception. I think that's something that he could absolutely do. Jacob says, what is Dallas's pivot if Klay stays in California? This is definitely possible. Am I worried? Like, it's got a lot of questions on subtext and things like that. Are you worried about Klay Thompson and the Lakers? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right now, you're at least in the mix. You're in the mix for Klay Thompson. And I think that's a great thing. And I think that that's something that is good for the Mavericks. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, you still have this pivot. You pivot to, figuring out a different player. Maybe you go to the Jeremy Grant thing and you add Maxey and Josh Green into that kind of trade and you try to do that. Maybe you pivot to, I don't know what other players you pivot to, but you bring back Derrick Jones Jr. You've got Quentin Grimes. Like, you didn't really take a huge step forward, but you also still have some flexibility. You're under the first apron and you can make a move during the season. You don't have to make all your moves in the offseason. A lot of teams that make all their moves in the offseason and then don't have a way to pivot in the middle of the season struggle. Really struggle. Oh my God, what the? There you go. Get rid of that guy. Oh my gosh. I have to moderate myself, and I didn't check into the comments. So there you go. That's what the Mavericks pivot. Do you think that? How about Paul George? I don't think the Mavericks can get Paul George. Too much money. $50 million. Create $50 million out of this Mavs roster. It's very hard, very difficult. I don't think that that's possible. But I do want to talk about Paul George because I think that this is a huge thing for the Mavericks. Mark Stein reported that the 76ers are trying to go after Paul George. They're also trying to figure out how to land both Paul George and KCP. If both of those guys go to Philadelphia, they both leave the West. That hurts the Nuggets and it hurts the Clippers big time. Then Chris Haynes reported that Paul George is, there's growing optimism in Philadelphia that the Sixers will land Paul George in free agency. Like, they're feeling confident about it at this point. That would be amazing. If the Sixers could get both KCP and Paul George, then all of a sudden you hurt two teams in the West that were your competition, basically. Go ahead. Go to the East. That's great. Love that. Go to the East, have fun. Go hang out with Joel Embiid. Go make the Celtics life a little bit harder. Great. Love that. I'm honestly rooting for the Sixers, right? Like, at this point, I'm like, yeah, Sixers, go get Paul George, because you don't want anybody else to get Paul George. Sixers, Magic, sure, go get him. Seen a lot of Larry Markkinen. I've seen a lot of people ask about, there's just no way. There's just no, I don't see a feasible way, unless the Mavericks are giving up Derek Lively, for them to go get a Larry Markkinen. I see this a lot. He would be a great fit. He'd be awesome. You have a guy that can stretch the floor, get his own shot. The offense would be incredible with Luka, Kyrie, Larry Markkinen. I understand the appeal. I understand the appeal for it. But I don't think that the Mavs have what it takes to get Lauri Markkanen. Think about what, Mikal Bridges just got. He got 5 first-round picks. I think 4 first-round picks probably for Lauri Markkanen. Because I don't think Danny Ainge is just going to take whatever. And then, you got Mavs fans that are like, I wouldn't trade Lowry for Lively straight up. There's a comment we just got. I kind of agree. I would rather just roll the dice with Lively and see what he can be. It sounds crazy, but I'd rather go for the guy that fits exactly what the Mavericks need. I'd rather go for exactly what the Mavericks need and keep that and just roll with that. So this is where we are with it. So the 76ers thing, trying to go after Paul George, trying to go after KCP, I'm with it. I like it. I like the idea of it. I think that it would really help the Mavericks. And that's what you really want. The lineup of Luka, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Lively, PJ. That lineup spaces the floor a lot, especially if he can take a step back. If Lively can take a step back to the 3-point line, start hitting some threes, then all of a sudden, there you go. Response just said Lively corner 3-point sharpshooter next year. You heard it here first. That'd be awesome. Jamal asked about DeAndre Hunter and Bogdanovich. I don't get the DeAndre Hunter thing. I think right now the Mavs have Quentin Grimes, and that's just as good as DeAndre Hunter. I don't think DeAndre Hunter is that good. If he's that good, then why are the Hawks always struggling? Defensively struggling to win games. He's not that good of a player. The Hawks have all these players. You're like, man, it seems like this guy's a good player. He's got this big contract. I just don't see the appeal with DeAndre Hunter for that big of a contract. Bogdanovich, I do get Bogdanovich as somebody that could come in, and that could be a Mavs pivot. If the Mavs pivot to Bogdanovich for a sign and trade, then it wouldn't even be a sign and trade, just be a straight up trade for Josh Green, maybe some, a second. They may take a first round pick, but what if they did Josh Green? Maybe it's just Josh Green. Maybe they just want a younger player and just roll the dice and change it. But it could be Josh Green and Hardy for Bogdanovich. Would you do that? Would you do Josh Green and Hardy for Bogdanovich? I'll think about that. D-Money says we could use the third ball handle. Absolutely. And that's where maybe getting Spencer Dinwiddie with the biannual exception, that's where the Bogdanovich thing comes in. I would try to get Bogdanovich for Josh Green and Hardy. You give up some youth, but you get a guy right now. Trading Hardy would be tough. Dez was like, I don't know how I feel about trading Hardy. I don't either. But I do know that the longer we see Hardy and the more we see from him, the more I'm like, I just don't know what you're going to be. I just don't know what you're going to bring to this team. And I don't know what you're going to turn into. What's his ceiling? What does he become? Because I was on the track last year. He could be a Jordan Poole, on the track of an Anthony Simons, a Tyrese Maxey. Maybe not as good as those players. Definitely not as good as Maxey. But he's on the track of those type of guys. And then he just took a step back last year. And growth's not always linear. But do the Mavericks have time to let him figure out what he's going to be? If he breaks out this season and has a huge, great season, what does he become? Does he become a better version, the ideal version of what we thought Tim Hardaway Jr. would be? All right. Okay. Great. That doesn't help the Mavericks a ton. But to be maybe a Mavs third scorer, to be what Jordan Poole was for the Warriors a couple years ago, that'd be great. That'd be a good outcome for him. But I just didn't see that second year jump from him. And that's where it's tough with Jaden Hardy, where you're like, all right, well, can you use him to sweeten the deal where someone else could believe in him a little bit more than you do at this point? Answering questions in the chat. If you guys got more questions, they're coming in. They're coming in hot. My dog's barking when you speak. Did that help? Did that help at all? I get dogs all the time with that, and my dog does not fall for it anymore. My dog does not fall for that anymore. Steven Savage asks if Omax is getting any run. I've seen this a couple times about Omax. We can't pencil him into a starting lineup or where where he's gonna play, or we've got to expect the progress from Omax. I don't know. It's tough with some of these young guys, especially coming into a team that wants to win right now. I hope that Omax can take a step forward and become a rotation player and like basically take Derrick Jones Jr.'s bench spot. Is Derrick Jones Jr. now is a starter, or if they get Klay, then I don't know. But I don't think we can guarantee that Omax will get any run next year. We can't guarantee it. Maybe if we start hearing the training camp, like, oh my gosh, everybody's really excited about Omax. Nope, we don't. Hey, we can't. You got to say the full name Raccoon, by the way. You can't do half the word. You can't do half the word. But yeah, I don't know that we can have Omax. Like, we can definitely pencil in Omax to what he's going to be next year. Just let it play out, see what happens. What if he dominates Summer League? What if he comes in and all of a sudden you start hearing training camp stories where you go, okay, all of a sudden Omax is starting to turn into something. The Mavericks are very high on what Omax Prosper could become this season. Then all of a sudden you can start maybe having some expectations for him. Here we are. We're 37 minutes away from training camp, or not training camp. God bless. 37 minutes away from free agency. There's some, the news about Paul George out there. There's the Mavericks, Klay Thompson, Mavericks, Derrick Jones Jr. rumors. There was all the back and forth about the, Marco. I'm just about to talk about this. Marco said, any comment on the Cato Derrick Jones Jr. story? So the Cato Derrick Jones Jr. story is not, I didn't think was like such a huge thing. So Cato reports, Derrick Jones Jr.'s agency casts doubts upon Mavericks' return. So the big thing that Cato said was that all of a sudden there's doubts. The sentence in there was there's actually some, there's finally some doubt about Derrick Jones Jr.'s return. And it wasn't that the Mavericks are not interested in him anymore. It's not that the Derrick Jones Jr. is not interested in him in the Mavericks anymore. It's that all of a sudden you have this weird thing with the agent where he changed agencies and they usually have to wait to negotiate until July 11th. Like then the Mavericks and Derrick Jones Jr. will be stuck in this purgatory until July 11th, like 2 weeks, trying to figure out how to make this work. Now, he mentions in the story later, there are ways to go around it, and I'm sure that's what's going to happen and all that. But yeah, you do have, for the first time, it casts doubts upon the likelihood of her return to Dallas because it's just a tough thing. I don't know about, I think that this sentence makes it sound so much more dramatic than it really is in there. But what he reported, not wrong, right? I mean, not wrong. So then, then you have Mark Stein and them coming out and saying, well, there's no doubt that he'll return to Dallas. So I don't think Cato was really saying that in his story, but I think that line was added, and that line was the pull quote, and that line was the one that got tweeted, and that's all that anybody read. Literally, the Mavs FFL account. The guy I know, I think he's been on this podcast before. He's like, well, why would you say this? And then I was like, well, then Tim Cato came out and clarified it and said, hey, this is what I actually meant. And then the Mavs FFL account was like, you're backtracking. I was like, no, he's clarifying what he's actually saying. All you did was read the one tweet and not really read the context of the story. Yeah, so that's what I think about it. I think that the doubt that he'd return is that it's complicated now to bring him back with the agency change. It just changes the dynamic of it. Who are you negotiating with? Are you negotiating with his old agency or Clutch, which you legally can't do until July 11th? So that is doubt. All right, this guy, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting to go actually live so I can talk about this guy. This is the biggest Mavericks hater that comes on this channel. Extreme Gamer Mac. I'm giving you your attention, bud. Here you go. This is your attention. You come in, you literally watch every single stream that we do. You watch every single one. Dallas is the joke of the West. Trash Mavericks. Celtics clowned you guys. Hey, man, you're still here. You're still here. Who's the clown? The one that, is talking about the team that they love. People are enjoying the team that they love and wanting to know more about it. Or you that just comes in here and trashes those that do that. No, I'm not banning him. I'm letting him. Enjoy your life, man. Enjoy your life in here just trashing the Mavericks every time. He's a bigger Mavs fan than some of you. He's here every day, putting in the work. Oh, man. Amazing. Yeah, he's gone now. Now I don't see him at all. Put him on blast, and he closed the stream probably. I've been waiting on that one for a while because I see him in the chat all the time. I see him trash the Mavericks every single time, and then all of a sudden you call him out and he's gone. He'll come back in a minute. Watching what the Lakers are doing right now, because the Lakers and the Mavericks are in talks both with Klay Thompson. They're both rumored to be involved with Klay Thompson. I feel like the Lakers are the one real like competition for Klay Thompson. I don't know if you've seen the tweets of have you seen the tweets of Michael Thompson? Michael Thompson is Klay Thompson's dad. He was a Lakers player for a long time, and then he is now the beloved broadcaster for the Lakers. He's the color commentator. And so Michael Thompson was replying to all these tweets today. I really hope that Klay Thompson goes to the Lakers. And Michael Thompson's like, yeah, me too. Well, of course he wants his son to go play there. Klay's from that area. Obviously, he grew up there. His brother played for the Dodgers for a little while, I think. And so to me, it makes perfect, logical sense if you just think about the two areas. With Klay Thompson, guy that loves going out on his boat and doing stuff outside and things like that, that's from LA. Would he want to go to Dallas, Texas? Have you guys stepped outside today? If you're from here, have you stepped outside? You live here? Would Klay Thompson want to come here, or would he want to go to the Lakers? I mean, just logically, just thinking about the player and where he would want to be, it makes more sense for him to go to the Lakers. His dad played there. There's legacy there, all that kind of stuff. Brandon said, I'm so tired of these dads, man. I know. We go from Tim Hardaway Jr. to Tim Hardaway Sr. to Michael Thompson. But I will say, Michael Thompson is much more enjoyable of a person and has much better comments than what Tim Hardaway Sr. had. Michael Thompson much more level-headed in the comments about the people around his son's team. So, but yeah, we would get another dad if you want from Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson. Also, our boy's back. Luka will leave in 2 years. They just went to the finals, my guy. So, I guess you could be right, but we'll see. You could be 2 years. He's still under contract. You're going to trade him? The Mavericks are going to trade Luka Doncic? Yeah, we went. Jim's right. Jim said we went from Brunson's dad to Tim Hardaway Jr.'s dad, which I guess he was still on the team. To then, I guess they could bring in Lonzo and get LeVar Ball. Just do the dad trifecta. About 30 minutes away from free agency starting. We're seeing all the rumors dry up right now. Basically, all the rumors have dried up. They're waiting. Everybody's just holding on. They're like, all right, let's hold on to our rumors until the tampering stops. Dallas says, has your opinion shifted on Klay at all? Here's where my opinion started with Klay Thompson. I was against it at the beginning because I looked at it as defensively. If you bring in Klay Thompson, I thought they'd have to lose Derrick Jones Jr. Then all of a sudden they talk about the machinations of them keeping him. And if they get Klay Thompson and lose Derrick Jones Jr., I'm out on it. Because then all of a sudden you turned Tim Hardaway and Josh Green into Klay Thompson. Which, if you think about it, he probably is as good as those two guys together. And probably better than those two guys together, what they bring to the table. But he's 34. He's going to be 35 in February. He's coming off. He's got those two injuries a couple years ago. Defensively, what are you asking him to do at this point? And so I was against it at the beginning. And then I started thinking about, well, if they keep Derrick Jones Jr., that's what changed to me. If they keep Derrick Jones Jr., then all of a sudden you're just upgrading from Tim to Klay Thompson. And then kids got to figure out the lineups. But at least you have that option. And at least you have the Klay Thompson shooting 39% from three out in the corners, hitting those shots that nobody else was hitting last year for the Mavericks. And that changes things a lot. He said, I'm tripping. Klay destroys that bum, THJ. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's better than Tim Hardaway. And that's what eventually got me around to it. It's which, by the way, saying you're loyal to trash, I shouldn't have put that on the screen, probably. Get out of here. But yeah, he's definitely better than Tim Hardaway. And so then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, well, if you're just upgrading from Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson and kids got to figure out what role he plays, great. That's great. No brainer. That's why Klay Thompson actually makes sense. NBA needs to do something with clutch tampering with Dallas, because first it was Bronny James, Klay, and then it's Jones. I think with Jones, I don't know that they're tampering yet. If Derrick Jones somehow goes to the Lakers, then maybe we can have that conversation. They are still just a legit agency. They've got a lot of like power in the NBA for sure. But the Bronny James thing, if you're upset about that, part of it is, yes, they wanted him to play with his dad, the star player. If Luka had a son, wouldn't you be like, oh, let's try and get Luka on the Mavericks in any way we can? And the tampering for a 55th pick, it's like, we're really freaking out about a guy that the kid that was a second round pick going in the second round, late in the second round. Yeah, what even is tampering? That's right. Here's one that says Josh Green has, to be in discussions for Klay Thompson, will miss his defense at times on guards and forwards. I think Klay right now is as good of a defender as Josh Green is. And definitely a smarter one because he's just a 4-time champion and it's hard to be, more intelligent than a guy like that. But Josh Green has really not stepped up as that defender that we've really wanted him to be. And I think Klay Thompson, talking to Locked On Warriors people, that he is at least, not a liability on defense. He's not going to be great. He's not going to be the Klay Thompson that you hope, like the all-star Klay Thompson. But he'll come in and not be a liability, and that may be enough just for the starting lineup. And then you change the lineup and bring in Grimes and bring in Derrick Jones Jr. and okay. Then you can calm down. Then you can then the defense will calm down. And hopefully you scored enough with Luka, Kyrie, and Klay. Maybe Lively spacing the floor. PJ Washington working on his shot this season. Bring him along with the Mavericks. He can add a couple things to his game. Bring a couple more things to the Mavericks. The offense, it all kind of works like that. I also saw somebody on Twitter today, I can't remember who it was, say, I don't understand why the fit. I think it was Jason Timpf. I don't understand the fit with Klay Thompson on the Mavericks. Yeah, Cole literally just said what I was just saying. His fit on offense. Okay. Imagine Klay Thompson getting all the wide open threes that he has to run around and move for the Mavericks or for the Warriors. He has to do all these things off movement and all that. Imagine he just has to stand there and Luka gets him those wide open shots without running. Maybe he's better on defense if he doesn't have to run all over the place on offense. I don't get that. I don't get the thing about why he wouldn't fit on the offense. He'd fit. He can attack a closeout and take a little, step into the 3-point line, take a jumper. He can hit a wide open three better than anybody. So I didn't understand that at all. It's it's not the offense he's working in right now, but a 35-year-old Klay Thompson being just a catch and shoot guy and taking 9 threes a game, doing what Tim Hardaway did last year. Come on. I don't understand why you don't understand the fit with him offensively. It's the defense that's the problem. That's the part that I just don't get. And you're not adding more creation, but as long as Luka and Kyrie are playing and on the team, the Mavs, Klay Thompson would not be the guy that adds more shot creation to your team necessarily, but he adds more ways that you can do it. All the stuff that the Mavs wanted to run with Tim Hardaway Jr. coming around screens and Tim Hardaway Jr. getting these shots on the move and things like that. Klay Thompson does that 100% better than him. Yeah, Issa now do his defense. Yeah, that's right. That's the problem. Is that how do you make the defense work with Klay Thompson? And to me, that's a harder scenario because you need him to guard point of attack probably. So now he's doing that. Luka and Kyrie. It is a defense where the Mavs scheme works if everybody is just in the right spots and is doing their jobs. It makes it easier for everybody else around you. Now everybody's got to work, and that's why Luka looks terrible defensively sometimes because he doesn't work. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is terrible because one guy is a weak link and then boom, it all falls apart. But if everybody does their job, Klay Thompson does his job, that's fine. He's not a liability on defense as of right now. Maybe he takes a step back as becoming a 35-year-old, the injuries and all that, and that could be a big issue. So yeah, the defense could be a huge issue, and that's why I have questions about this. Here we go. We're under 30 minutes away from free agency starting. I'm ready for it to start going fast and furious. My internet is not ready. The lagging I don't think has stopped, so I apologize for that. Blame Spectrum. Blame Spectrum for it. I'm going to see if I can get some friends on here. All right, more questions in the chat. Yeah, hit the likes. Nacho's right. Hit the like. Hit the like on YouTube. Helps the stream go better. We're sitting here watching free agency, seeing what's going to happen. Let's go. Let's do. Where do you want Paul George to go? Where do you want Paul George to go? The Sixers is one. Magic is one. Back to the Clippers. I don't want to go back to the Clippers, and I don't think you do either. If the Mavs lose out on Klay Thompson, they need to go get Jeremy Grant, says Daniel. The Jeremy Grant one is tough because he makes a ton of money. They can definitely do it. They can make it work. They can figure it out. It's definitely possible to get Jeremy Grant. It just becomes a harder issue because then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now who else are we losing? Jeremy Grant makes $29 million next year. So you need to match this a little bit. Josh Green, Maxey. Where you at? You're at 23. You got to figure out like $6 more million or something like that. So then maybe you do AJ Exum. Oh, we getting rid of Dwight Powell? Now that's too many players. Now I got to get rid of a $3 million. Okay, not Exum. AJ and Dwight just to make it work. That's actually right on the money. Do you think that the Portland Trailblazers go for that? You think they just want Josh Green and some salary? They want Josh Green, AJ, and some salary. You think that? Yeah, this is a little tougher because he makes $29.7 million. I don't know that Jeremy Grant has a ton of I don't know that he has a ton of value across the league right now. But the Mavs may have to add a first into this just to make the Portland Trailblazers do it. Oh yeah, we can do Hardy too. That's right. That's a good call. He was down the list because he only makes $2 million. So we'll do Hardy instead of Lawson. That one makes it a little bit better. Give them Hardy and Josh Green, Maxey and Dwight in Portland. I feel like Maxey and Dwight would dominate in Portland, not on the basketball court, but just I feel like their personalities match Portland so well. I feel like they would be so great. And yeah, then I think they have 1 second round pick they can throw in this just to sweeten it, just to lube it up. That's a Jeremy Grant. That's a pivot that the Mavs could do for sure. Mavs could pivot to Jeremy Grant. The thing about Jeremy Grant is he's bigger. He shoots really well. He's not as good of a shooter as Klay Thompson, obviously, but he shoots well. He's a bigger guy. His defense is not as good, but he can be. We've seen it be good in the past. You're just betting on that. You're betting on two things with Klay and with Jeremy Grant. You're betting that the defense can be okay enough to offset how you're going to get better on offense by having a great three-point shooter in the Derrick Jones Jr. spot. Levi says, why aren't we talking about KCP? I think he's going to get a lot of money. I think he's going to get more money, and the Mavericks don't have money to give out to people. The Mavs have the Mavs can trade for a guy, but because he didn't opt in, I don't know that you can do a sign and trade with KCP. And Mark Stein had that report that the Denver Nuggets didn't want to facilitate a sign and trade with the Mavericks because they were being petty and didn't want to do it, didn't want to help them and all that. So we're not talking about KCP because he's going to get more money. The Mavs can only offer like a free agent, like $12.9 million. That's what they're going to offer Derrick Jones Jr. But they don't have that just to offer to anybody, to any free agent. Or they don't just have the Klay Thompson money to offer to any free agent. Klay Thompson can get more money because they can do a sign and trade. I don't know that KCP is going to do that with the Nuggets. Somebody said, ain't KCP too small anyway? KCP is smaller, but he's an incredible point of attack defender. Like, you have him, and then Luka is bigger. So all of a sudden you're like, okay, we feel good about that. And then you have PJ to guard the bigger guys. So you actually need a defender like KCP to make it work. Because the Mavs needed to improve their point of attack defense already. I went on Mavs Reddit a couple weeks ago, and somebody was talking about point of attack defense. And then somebody replied, if I never see point of attack defense ever again, I'll be okay. Here we go. This is our first big free agency thing. Chris Paul. Golden State Warriors are waiving him, and he'll become an unrestricted free agent. They're clearing space. The Warriors are clearing all this space. Not the Rockets. The Warriors are clearing space because Chris Paul was going to make $30 million. Now, this doesn't mean he can't come back to them. Oh my gosh, that's insane. He was going to make $30 million this year. What a bad contract. Who's interested in Chris Paul in the chat? Let me know on the biannual. Would you be interested in Chris Paul in the biannual? The backup guy can play if Kyrie or Luka are out. Can't play with Kyrie probably, but can play with Luka. My internet is killing it today. Love you, Spectrum. I'm seeing a lot of no's. I'm seeing a lot of no's about Chris Paul. Let's see. Can I make a case? Can I just like make a case for Chris Paul? Here, I'll do it. I'll do it like as I'm actually doing a Locked On Mavs segment. The thing with Chris Paul is that the Mavs have needed for so long a guy to just set them up. That's on the second unit. They need a guy that sets up the offense, that puts things in place, and they need a guy to push some of the other guys. Every once in a while, when the Mavs have a night where people don't have it, all that, you need just a little guy up in your face saying, hey, Gafford, get where you're supposed to be. Maxey, get where you're supposed to be. And it can't just be from Luka all the time. It's got to be from somebody else. And that player is Chris Paul. You need to sign this guy. They can get him. They can bring him in. Cole Sturgill says this is the spin room. Yeah, the slightly spin room. I'm in the slightly spin zone right now. No, I'm out on Chris Paul. Too small. Doesn't bring enough. He'd be like a regular season, like a relief pitcher in baseball. Yeah, I'm bringing you the tweet deck today. Everybody that misses tweet deck. I kind of honestly started paying for Twitter. First of all, I get revenue from it, but also because I miss tweet deck too for moments like this. I just want a tweet deck back. And so I was like, all right, I'll pay for Twitter just for that. I'm not putting that in the NBA moves list. What do you think? Jeremy says, what do you think you're getting for the Bay? I don't know. For the Bay, like, Slightly is Bay. Isaac is Bay. Dirk is Bay. Oh, man. 15 minutes away from free agency. Seeing what kind of moves pop up. It's about to go crazy right now. So everybody get a snack, get some water, get ready. Najee Marshall could be Bay. Najee Marshall absolutely could be Bay. He could be Bay if they bring back Derrick Jones Jr. and get Klay Thompson. But I think they'll go with a guard. I would go after Chris Paul if he was 6'4". Well, he's like 38 years old, so you're like 38 years short for him to hit. 6'4". What do we got? We got a weather advisory. This is the rumors. These are the free agency rumors heating up all over. The heat index. Thanks to our friend Pete Delkus at WFAA. They're heating up. 15 minutes away. Jaden, I almost put that comment up there, and I'm glad I read it first. Des is right. He says we desperately need a backup point guard. You do. They still do need that. They just don't need one that's as old as Chris Paul and as short as Chris Paul and as grumpy as Chris Paul. And I think all the culture stuff the Mavs had last year, I think would all go away with Chris Paul. I just think he's that kind of guy. And that sucks. $15 minutes away from free agency. S. Brangers says, in Nico, we must trust. There's another thing I want to reiterate from the other day, is that I have full confidence in this front office now. When's the last time you had full confidence in the Mavericks front office to be like, you know, I did the Sabrina Carpenter line, I'm going to do it again. Like, heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you, don't embarrass me, mother. Like, I don't think the Mavericks will embarrass Mavs fans anymore within the front office. The Tim Hardaway Jr. trade was good. The Gafford and PJ Washington trades were great. Derek Lively Got Omax for free. Gotta trust Nico Harrison, and you don't have to, but you can. You can trust. I want everyone to know, as soon as anything news happens, I've got this ready. It's not as flashy as what the jump used to do with all the like confetti and all that kind of stuff, but Amar said, I know she's massive now, but I've never heard a Sabrina Carpenter song. Then you've never opened TikTok in your life. That's what it is. Just TikTok is all that. My camera is absolutely clipping. It's my internet. I can't figure out how to change it. Can change my camera quality down a little bit. Does that make it better? Probably should have gone down to 720 from 1080, but here we are. My camera's absolutely clipping. It's a problem. It's my internet. Spectrum. I'm gonna blame Spectrum. We'll see. Jake Fisher, Golden State Warrior waiving Chris Paul now positions the Warriors to access their $12.8 million mid-level exception should it also lose Klay Thompson. So the Warriors are expecting to lose Klay Thompson. The Warriors plan to be creative in how to spend that salary slot. So they're another player. Let's say the Lakers get Klay Thompson, then all of a sudden the Mavs and the Warriors are competing against the same guys for that spot. If Sean, I think Sean Sharif, I don't think he would write this if it wasn't said on the show. Brian Windhorst, the Lakers can't sign Klay Thompson right now. We need to be talking about the Mavericks and other teams. Malika, over to Bobby Marks. How can the Lakers get this done? It's really funny juxtaposition, like Brian Windhorst saying it can't happen and Malika asking Bobby Marks how it happened. But that is actually how the that is how the NBA works now. It's a lot like the NFL all of a sudden where you go, hey, we can't do this. How can we make it happen? Because all you have to do is just change things around and then throw some money around here and there, or not throw around contracts here and there, trade one guy to here, blah, blah, blah. It can work. You can make it work. 10 minutes from free agency. David Locke doing a live Locked On Jazz. I don't even think he can talk about free agents. We don't know the Summer League roster just yet. I think after free agency settles a little bit, we'll know. They usually don't tell us until right before the practices will start. And Summer League doesn't start till, what is it, July 12th? We got a week or so. We got a week until we'll know the Summer League roster. Jack is living in 2023. Jack, you're 1 year late. Think Kyrie will resign? I saw him at the Lakers playoff game. Not looking good. This is also, I wanted to bring this up because I thought about, oh, here we go. We got one. We got a news thing. James Harden plans to sign a 2-year, $70 million contract to return to the Los Angeles Clippers. Okay. James Harden going back to the Clippers. That's not a big surprise. What do we got? 70 million 2 years. I can do math. That's 35 million a year. That's not bad. Not great. But going back, so they at least have James Harden back. So they lose Paul George, James Harden, and Kawhi. Yeah, no, I don't think there was a single person that was thinking that wasn't gonna happen. Everybody telling me what the math is. I know, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to be wrong when I did it in my head. Okay, well, I guess we can write that down. James Harden. There you go. 2 years, 70 million. That's the first one on our slightly unplugged list. I can make this bigger. There you go. First one down. First news story down. We'll keep track of it. It's the Slightly Unplugged list. I wanted you guys to be part of it because it is kind of fun. Slightly is in Europe, which is why he's not on the stream right now, not doing his own stream. And so he's in Europe, and he's going to try to stay away from his phone. He deleted Twitter. He deleted all social media and all that kind of stuff. And he's not going to see anything. And I'm going to... Did I say signs in Philly? Dang it. Freudian slip. I was thinking about Philadelphia. That's too funny. And so Slightly's not going to see any of the reports, and I'm going to tell him I'm going to tell him everything. And I'm going to make up stuff. Oh, in the chat. Let's do this now. What we got 10 minutes before the actual free agency. Tell me what things I should make up to tell Slightly. I can type real good. Okay. Mavs got Paul George. I think he would know that. That's too good to where I think somebody would text him. That's the one thing. It's like it's got to be good enough to where Slightly will not hear it from another source. Paul George to the Pistons. The LeBron retired. Lively for Anthony Davis. Brown to Cleveland. Which Brown? Hardy for Paul George. Brandon Ingram traded to the Spurs. That's a good one. That's the first one that I saw. Who said that one? Yeah, Brandon Ingram to the Spurs. That's a good one. I'll come up with like who it was and everything after that. Sabonis to the Mavs. Man, he would freak out. Oh my gosh. Mark Stein says that there will be no shortage of Chris Paul suitors once he becomes a free agent, but league sources continue to say that San Antonio has strong interest in Chris Paul. That's pretty good. A couple people saying Mavs sign Seth Curry. We gotta throw that one in. We gotta throw that one in. That one's fun. Ayton to the Mavs. No, it's a year late. He's not gonna believe any centers. Spencer Dinwiddie 3 years 70. I think Slightly would fall out of his chair. I think he would fall out of his chair if I said I don't think he would believe it. Kevin Huerter traded to the Cavs for Mobley. Nah, he's not gonna believe that. You gotta add more. I gotta add more of that. Mavs signed DeRozan. KD back to the Thunder. There we go. KD back to the Thunder. That's a good one. I can type real good. Okay. Mavis Beacon loved me in school. Ben Simmons to Dallas. Ben Simmons to Dallas would be insane right now. Isaac came back to Locked On. Right in the middle of it, I'm like, and then another move that was made in the offseason is Isaac Harris coming back to Locked On and you will no longer appear on the program. That'd be really funny. I think I'm going to use that one. Shout out to you. Valanciunas to the Lakers. Yeah, this is a good one. LeBron took a pay cut to get Jonas Valanciunas. He'd just laugh at that one. Oh, Levine to Dallas. I want to take a second and take a victory lap from 6 years ago when Isaac and I were against Zach LaVine coming to the Mavericks. This was before, honestly, like before Brunson popped off, before Kyrie, obviously. We didn't want Zach LaVine, and now he's getting traded with a first-round pick. We hated that contract. It was before his contract, actually, before Zach LaVine made an all-star team. And I was like, I'm out on Zach LaVine. And now, like 5 years later, he's not getting... Kasim, I don't need a dentist, man. I got a dentist. I'm good. I'm all dentists up. Boban is back. That's another good one. Boban. Do I still have the Boban drop? I gotta have it. Oh. Boban. Let's go. That would be the best. Bobby and Toby to the Mavs. That's a little too much. I guess Tobias Harris could be a pivot player. All right, I'll put with Tobias Harris on there. He would be in on that. Frank Ntilikina, 3 years, 25. 3 minutes away from NBA free agency. We're talking about the slightly biased unplugged list. This slightly is away, and he's going to be gone, so I'm making up some moves to tell him on the way back. I'm keeping track of all the moves that we see. Got them all listed here on the tweet deck. Apologies for my camera. My internet Spectrum is doing an incredible job being awful at internet providing for me. And so we're waiting. We're waiting on stuff that's going to happen. We're about 3 minutes away from just everything exploding. James Harden just signed a 2-year, $70 million deal to come back to the Clippers. So we're fine with that. I didn't know that was expected. We'll see what happens with that. With Paul George on him. I love these. Bobby Marks is doing a great job with these graphics. So without Chris Paul, without Klay Thompson too, he's expecting Klay Thompson to be gone. It's Curry, Pajemski, Andrew Wiggins, Kuminga, Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, Kevon Looney coming off the bench. They got their two best big men coming off the bench. Gary Payton, Moses Moody. It's tough. Klay Thompson probably leaving. They've got $147 million. So they're like, without Chris Paul now and without Klay Thompson, they're under the first apron. That's huge for them. Because they were a second apron team for a long time. That is a tough one. Also, Skin makes a good point here that they're not hard capped and can do a sign and trade for because if they're a second apron team, then they'd be hard capped and couldn't do one. Let's see who else wants to join this stream. I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? One more minute till free agency. It's about to pop off. Oh, this guy Josh, he has a family event starting in 2 minutes. No, you skipped the family today. You skipped the family today and you watch Twitter. Just like, hey, just give me an hour. Give me an hour, family. I'll be an hour late. Oh, Tim Cato. Here we go. 5 p.m. Bunch of stuff about to pop off. 5 p.m. here in Dallas. NBA free agency has started. Thank you for jumping in on the Locked On Mavericks stream. I'm Nick Angstadt. I host a daily Dallas Mavericks podcast 5 days a week. We'll be talking about the Dallas Mavericks. Apologies for my camera. Spectrum is excellent at doing internet. We are keeping track of the moves over here. We're keeping track of. Wow, there you go. Shams Charania just reported. Well, does this count? This doesn't count because we knew this was going to happen. But Klay Thompson is departing the Warriors, and both sides will begin to work sign and trade options. So the Mavericks are one of those options. Mavericks are one of the options. We're going to see if. Here we go. Oh, we got one? Is this real? We'll count it. The first one. Luke Cornett has agreed to a 1-year deal to return to the Boston Celtics. The Cornett contest did not work. He's back with the Celtics. That's our first one. I'm not writing that one down. That's not going to be part of this stream. Big if true. That's not it. Cornett back. Goodness. James Harden was technically the first one, but I guess he was a player coming back to his own team, so like we've already seen Pascal Siakam do that. We've already seen other guys do that. James Harden coming back to the Clippers. Okay. Either TweetDeck is slow right now or nothing's happening yet. Klay Thompson is officially going to depart from the Warriors. We talked a lot about Klay Thompson earlier and talked a lot about what he could bring to the Mavericks. You know, Shams mentions the 3 teams. Mavs, Lakers. We've got somebody in the building. Kevin Gray.
What up?
Free agency just started off. What you got for me, Kevin Gray?
Man, I don't know, man. Source wars.
guys fighting.
I know a lot of fighting today. Excited though. I'm excited. Today is my daughter's 7th birthday, so I'm a cook.
Congrats! Look at that, the bluey shirt with the dad on it. Like just doing the dad thing today.
Exactly. So, but I'm excited, man. Shout out to the Raccoon Squad, man. It looks like y'all been kicking it, having a good time so far.
We're having fun. Give me your thoughts on the Klay Thompson thing. Are you for it? Are you against it? Is it a good move for the Mavericks? Let's say it's just Josh Green. They do some kind of sign and trade. Boom, and that's it.
I'm good with it. I know folks will have their reservations about Klay at 34 years old and the defensive side of things, but honestly, I mean, this is a guy last year that was 4th in the NBA in 3-pointers made. He shot 39% from 3. I mean, he made nearly 220 catch and shoot 3-pointers. So he's going to get a lot of opportunities in this offense. So, you know, maybe you do the thing kind of like how the Mavericks have done with Gafford and Lively. You know, Klay was really effective last year when he was playing between 20 and 29 minutes. So, you know, I think people get caught up in, you know, who's starting, who's not starting. But I think Klay will be motivated if this does happen to be able to be a contributor to this team. And, you know, I love the offensive fit. I mean, Luka and Kyrie are going to give him a lot of open shots. So if it does happen, I like it. And if it means that you surrender Josh Green, okay, I mean, that's the price of doing business. So, but if it does happen, I think ultimately I'd be good with it.
Yeah, you'd be in a good spot. And to me, it's like it comes down to you're just upgrading Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson if it's just Josh Green. Because you've already done the, you know, Josh Green, the upgrade is Quentin Grimes. So you go from Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson and Josh Green to Quentin Grimes. Like, those are upgrades in 2 spots to me.
I agree. And, you know, you wouldn't necessarily have any bad contracts on this roster too, right? I mean, that's, I think, part of what has made this so interesting is that you maintain a lot of your financial flexibility for the next, you know, several years, even with a potential, you know, Kyrie Irving extension coming, you know, maybe at the end of this upcoming season, Luka going to get his, you know, mega super max contract. Like, you still have a lot of financial flexibility over the next couple of years. And if you don't have to move off of your 2020, you know, your 2031 or your 2025 and 31 first round picks too, I mean, you still got some ammunition to make other moves if that's the case. So, yeah, if this is what it's going to be, and you're able to retain Derrick Jones Jr. as well, I mean, that's a home run if you're the Mavericks based off of what you came into this offseason with and what you've been able to do so far.
Kevin, I've got to stop you. We've got We've got breaking news. Free agent Kevin Love finalizing a 2-year, $8 million deal to return to the Miami Heat.
Is this what it's going to be? Whoever's on here, like, you go
every time.
The breaking news music.
Kevin Love going back. I have no thoughts on Kevin Love going back to the Heat. Cool. Good for him.
Shout out to all Kevins getting their money.
That's right. Yeah, every Kevin to get a bag.
That's right.
There is a report from Sean Cunningham, a reporter in Sacramento. It says sources confirm Sacramento Kings are pursuing a trade for Brandon Ingram. I'm told Kings have had discussions with the Pelicans. It's worth noting Ingram was an emerging star under Alvin Gentry, who works in the Kings front office now. The Kings getting Brandon Ingram would be interesting. He's kind of a guy that does some of the things that they need. They need a little bit more offense. Like, well, I guess they need a little bit more defense. They need defense on the perimeter. I don't think he's bringing that to them, but he brings them at least a little bit more offensive variety, which they've kind of needed. I don't know how much that pushes them further, like pushes them forward, but it's an interesting move.
It would be an interesting move. I mean, like you said, they're going to score a bunch of points and play a bunch on offense. I don't know necessarily what that means for them, you know, defensively, but yeah, they're going to continue to score a bunch every night. So, you know, that's fine. Good for them. They won't stop anybody, but good for them, I guess, for more offense. So, I mean, they brought back Malik Monk as well. They still got Keegan Murray there. They've got a lot of offense. They got a lot of offense, but not a whole lot of defense still.
We've got an official Adrian Wojnarowski. Klay, I guess, I might as well. You never know how many times we're going to use this. Klay Thompson plans to have discussions with the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the 76ers in the opening hours of free agency. So the 76ers are kind of a new one that we haven't really heard yet, but it makes sense. They've got a ton of money, and they could add him for sure. If they lose out on Paul George and KCP, then they'll have to pivot to somebody else. But man, we haven't seen any real signings so far. Luke Cornett, Kevin Love, got the James Harden one, I guess, and now everybody's just waiting on some of these dominoes to fall. Paul George, I guess, being the big one. Brandon Ingram trade, maybe. Klay Thompson. But yeah, the Mavs are getting, at least going to have discussions with Klay Thompson and his people.
Yeah, which, I mean, all indications are that it's not surprising. We heard Chris Haynes a little bit earlier, say that Klay is looking for a fresh start. So he's not going back to the Warriors is what, is obviously going to happen here. But I do wonder how quickly we heard from Monte Poole, who's as close to the Warriors as anyone that you can think of, about how hard the Mavericks are pursuing him. So I'm sure the Mavericks will try to keep Klay as long as they can and not let him leave without that meeting, without a deal being in place in order to try and to do something. But, for Klay, he's got to weigh the idea of staying in Los Angeles, being at home versus, potentially getting more money with Dallas, who's a lot closer to winning a championship. And only he has that, decision to make. So
the talk earlier that we had, me and the chat had, was we'd get another NBA dad. We get Michael Thompson if the Mavs got Klay Thompson. We go from Tim Hardaway Sr. to Michael Thompson as another NBA dad.
It's interesting because Michael Thompson, though, is on the broadcasts for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
So, you would see him a few times a year as far as the television. I can't remember if it's the television or radio side of things, but
TV.
Yeah, TV. So you would see him a couple times a year for sure. But either way, however this happens, whether they keep Derrick Jones Jr., get Klay, maybe a Najee Marshall if you don't retain Derrick Jones Jr., whatever the case may be. Nico Harrison, this team's going to be busy. It's going to be busy. So
they got stuff to do for sure.
They got stuff to do.
A Mavs account just shared the Inside the Green Room with Danny Green podcast logo from a couple years ago. You remember when that was what we were doing? All we were doing is listen to the Danny Green podcast and trying to figure out if Danny Green was going to join the Mavs.
Exactly. We're a long ways away from that. We are a long ways. It's definitely not Kansas anymore. That is for darn sure.
If Klay Thompson starts a podcast with some guy he went to high school with, and we just start listening to that over and over again.
Every day. Content is king.
If the Mavs lose out on Klay Thompson, they don't get him. Are you disappointed? Are you just shrug, move on? What are you if you're the Mavericks?
Yeah, I wouldn't be necessarily disappointed. You did get to the NBA Finals this past season, so how do you continue to build on what you have, making sure you retain Derrick Jones Jr. and you're hoping that quote unquote 10 to 15% better than Nico Harrison is hoping that everybody comes back with is true, and hopefully you can get a little bit more shooting based on what's available. Quentin Grimes will be, here once that trade is officially gone down, and then, you go from there. So, but it'll be interesting. But I did just want to come on and say what's up. I'm excited that you out here doing your thing, and again, had to shout out to the Raccoon Squad, man. Y'all are killing it, and I'm gonna get off here before my wife come in here and cuss me out, tell me what you're doing on the phone on your daughter's
birthday.
Be
a dad. Go be a dad, Kevin.
Yeah, but
good stuff.
Keep killing it, man. Appreciate you letting me hop on for a few minutes, man.
Yeah, go check out Kevin Gray Sports on Twitter, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Go check it out.
I need 2 subscribers to hit 6,000.
Ooh,
I just need 2 of y'all.
We've got 1,600 on the live stream right now. So
okay, if I can get 2 of y'all to just hit the subscribe button on Kevin Gray Sports on YouTube, that would be amazing. So please do that for me. Yeah,
you can do that. All right, go check out Kevin Gray Sports. Go be a dad and don't get yelled at. So
yeah, no, I promise I won't. Appreciate you, man.
See you, bud.
All right,
we're got Kevin Gray. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close to some things happening. But this has been the slowest free agency start we've ever. I literally have written down one thing: James Harden signs with the Clippers, and I'm not gonna tell him. I don't need the Luke Cornett and the Kevin Love. But man, this is the slowest start to free agency we've ever had. Just waiting on meetings. They're actually not tampering. Is this the first year they're actually not tampering? Did losing all those second-round picks? Here we go. Sam Esfandari Haynes just reported that Bulls proposed Wiggins and Paul for LaVine, and Golden State said no and waived Chris Paul. The Zach LaVine stuff is crazy. Kyle just said that Kevin got over 6,000. Shout out to you guys. Hey, we gotta support the other guy. We gotta support our friends that are in here covering the Mavs as well. Kevin Gray, good guy, doing good stuff over there. Yeah. Wiggins and Chris Paul for Zach LaVine. If you were the Warriors, would you have done that? Wiggins and Chris Paul for Zach LaVine. You're still in like luxury tax hell. You're still trying to figure out what to do. Why are we doing multiple reports on Luke Cornett? His agent. Bring back Cornett to the defending NBA champions. Keep him out of free agency. Ooh, good job, man. Good job by you. Wiggins and Chris Paul for Zach LaVine. Plus, it sounded like the sounded like the Bulls were offering draft picks with Zach LaVine to go to the Warriors or go somewhere else, or just get him off the Bulls. Just get him off. Just get his contract off. Nothing is happening. We're sitting here, and you know what? Free agency wise, NBA wise, entertainment wise, for me personally,
it's great. It's great, dude. Dude, it's great. It's great. It's great, broski. Bro, name it. It's great. It's great. It's great, bro. It's great. It's great. It's great. This life's great, bro. I have no complaints. I don't.
NBA free agency is going as fast as my internet is right now. I don't know what it is about my camera, but it's loading pages all fast. But just my camera is glitchy, and I don't know why. It makes no sense. There's something about the connection there. Literally nothing is happening. Actually, I should put that in there. You're right. James Harden. Nothing happened at 5:01. We're almost 15 minutes in. That's a notable thing that nothing happened. I should probably open with that. Refresh my camera capture device. I'm doing it on OBS. And that's the thing. That make it better? Did I fix it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, Nacho said the audio's all right. That's all I really care about, too. You can see my face, make a weird face every once in a while. Honestly, John makes a good point. The new CBA caused us to quit. Like, honestly, I think the CBA, Ryland just said the same thing. Wonder if the CBA has any impact on teams being more nervous with the perception of tampering so far. We've also seen teams get draft picks taken away from them. Yeah, Michael Scotto said the Sacramento Kings have expressed interest in trading for Pelicans forward Brandon Ingram. I guess we can start doing that. He's staying in the West, but I don't know. Brandon Ingram. I was really high on him for a while, and now I don't know what to think about him. He's also, are they going to re-sign him? They're going to sign him to a long-term deal. Then you'll have Fox, Ingram, and Sabonis. Who's got to be in this? They got to do Harrison Barnes. Well, but to me, I think that they're gonna. They wouldn't do Keegan Murray, right? Like I think he's too good for them. They do Kevin Huerter. That actually works. I don't know the Kings cap situation, but can you throw picks in there and make that work? They literally are not tampering. No, literally no one is tampering, except for maybe the conversations with Klay Thompson. You love to see it. The Warriors fans are like freaking out. They're melting down about this situation. They're melting down. They are melting down about the Warriors melting down. You ever see that meme that's like you're a sick person if you are happy for the Warriors' downfall? My temperature is 105. 105. I think I can make this bigger, actually. Do you need the last column? There we go. That's probably better. There is no tampering anymore. Tampering is dead. Mavs burner on Twitter says ESPN Klay memos. If the Lakers get Klay, great addition. We'll make Lakers immediately number one contender in the West. One of the great shooters in history. If the Mavs get Klay, washed. Bad defensive fit. Will not get the ball. Should have gone to the Lakers. That's 100% right. 100% right. This is so weird. We're 17 minutes into free. This is the biggest story. 17 minutes into free agency. Nothing has happened. We've gotten we've gotten two white dudes. Luke Cornett and Kevin Love. The only people that have signed in free agency are Luke and Kevin and James. Luke, Kevin, James. That could be his name. What if Kevin James' first name was actually Luke? We do have to try unplugging it and plugging it back in again. Should I just maybe TweetDeck is slow. It's not awkward silence. It's me texting people. I apologize. Should I play music in the background? Would it be better? Would it be better if I? Here, this one is called "Feeding the Ducks." Is this better? Sean says, he will not see Twitter. He deleted Twitter off his phone. He legit won't even see anything. So that's why I'm writing them down. I'm writing up made up moves to tell Slightly when he comes back. Is the music more helpful? This is so weird. This is the weirdest thing. Play the Let It Ride music? I guess so. Well, we can't let it ride until the Mavs do something, right? I gotta wait till at least the Mavs do something. Oh, here we go. We got another report. Is this? The Utah Jazz are planning to waive center Omer Yurtseven, source tells ESPN, another center into the free agency market. Free agency is off with a bang, Biscuit. This is what Woj is tweeting at 5:18 when free agency opened. Did the NBA not know? Did they think it's midnight? Do they still think it's midnight? Omer Yurtseven waved. It's news. Daniel said it isn't news. It's news because nothing else is happening. Woj is tweeting it. He's spending his precious minutes, 20 minutes into free agency, tweeting that Omer Yurtseven. Oh, man. Here is one thing about the Klay Thompson trade for the Mavericks. Is that Bobby Mark says this. The Mavs have created a $16 million trade exception for the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade because they traded Tim Hardaway Jr. and they can bring Quentin Grimes into the biannual exception. And so if they bring Quentin Grimes into the biannual exception, then all of a sudden they have $16 million that they can use to trade. They could trade Klay Thompson with, and do that. So there's something with that. The silence is deafening. We all get paid for every tweet. If you've got a little check, you get paid for every tweet. It's just happening. Should I put the music back on? Here, this one's called Into Space. You missed nothing. No one has missed anything. What is it? Matthew says, what is happening? What is happening is nothing. This is so weird. A lot of moves have been made. I guess like the Mikal Bridges deal was made at the draft. A lot of teams can't do stuff. I think this is part of the CBA. The CBA like makes it so that certain teams can't do stuff anymore. They can't sign guys because they don't have cap space. They can't trade multiple players. Like there's multiple teams that can't trade multiple players at the same time. So it's just a very tough environment. The owners wanted this. Ooh, dang. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here's some more Warriors. Here's some more Warriors meltdown. Backwards is never an option for me. Not for us. Joe Lacob, the Warriors owner in February. First of all, backwards is never an option. Not for me, not for us. I know that people would say it should be, but I don't even think we're going to be sellers in a situation like this in a big way. But there were things we could have done that might have looked that way. It might have been setting us up for something better next year. Warriors Twitter is melting down. I'm here for it. This is Adam Silver's NBA. The owners, he works for the owners. This is the owners NBA. This is the new owners NBA, the new money NBA. You guys can see me respond. Hold on. It was actually somebody else's. I'm real good at typing. If we get Seth Curry, I will die. I'll die laughing. Yeah. So we're waiting on Paul George. We're waiting on Klay Thompson. We're waiting on the Brandon Ingram trade. Kelly Eco just says Nick Batum will not be returning to the Sixers. Does that count? Does that count? Nick Batum is not coming back to the Sixers. He'd be an interesting guy for the biannual exception too. If the Mavs somehow lose Derrick Jones Jr., bring in Nick Batum. Even if they don't, just bring in Nick Batum. You can use another wing defender, guy that can play 15 minutes here or there. I'd be down for that. Here we go. This guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Yossi. He's very good with salary cap stuff. Dallas Mavericks could give Klay Thompson up to 3 years, $51.8 million for 4 years, $70 million if they acquire him with the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade exception. The $12.8 million mid-level exception can run for 3 years, $40 million, or 4 years, $55. So the Mavs can give Klay Thompson more money than what the Lakers could if they trade him because they have that exception with the Tim Hardaway Jr. trade. Whatever cap guy Nico Harrison has, if it's Andrew Baker still or whoever's doing that, killing it right now. Doing a great job. I should retweet this. Let's do questions. I did not think that 25 minutes into this, I did not plan for talking points because 25 minutes in, I thought that things would actually be happening at this point. We've literally not have anything happen. James Harden returned, but we've literally not have one player change teams. James Harden went back to the Clippers. Luke Cornett went back to the Celtics. Kevin Love returned to the Heat. Dennis Smith Jr. for the biannual exception. Yeah, I would kind of be down for that. I think he maybe a minimum guy. What did he make last year? He was on a minimum, right? He may have earned more than that. Yeah, he was a minimum guy last year. So I don't know that they need to use the biannual exception, but I'd be down for Dennis Smith Jr. return. He would be good for vibes, I think. He's a good vibes guy. Good, perimeter defender if they need some guy to lock up. The thing is, him and Dante Exum are pretty synonymous, and Exum is bigger, is probably a better three-point shooter. Dennis is definitely a better perimeter defender, but you're asking those two guys to do the same similar things. Yeah, Dennis had a hard time. What did he shoot last year? Dennis shot 29% from three. Yeah, Dennis is not really a three-point shooter. So at least when Exum can shoot a three, but I'd be down to bring back Dennis. But I think it would have to be a vet minimum. I actually don't think I'd be down for the biannual exception. I went all the way back around. I'm not down for him at the biannual, but I would be down. Rain says isn't Grimes under the biannual exception. We don't know that yet. We think so. We think it could happen. We think that they brought in Grimes under the biannual exception, but we don't know that for sure. It's all about order of operations right now. And so I try to not get you guys in the weeds with all that kind of stuff because it'll be all figured out in 24 hours after moves are made. It's once it all happens, then we'll tell you how it happened. Not when we're in the middle of this, it just isn't worth it to me to try and figure out all the different ways and things like that. I think it just confuses people. It's not as fun. I really think that the CBA, the new aprons and stuff has really messed all this kind of stuff up because you just don't have teams with space. And the teams that do have space, you've got to really be smart and use it. The teams with space right now are the Sixers, the Thunder, the Magic, there's like 6 teams with space. So the Pistons and the Jazz. And like, if you're those teams, you've got to be really smart with who you get. And the Jazz and the Pistons are not getting meetings, even though they've got free agent money. There you go. Kevin Gray. Shout out to the Raccoon Squad for getting me 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. There you go. Shout out Kevin Gray. The squad is strong. The squad is strong. Yeah, Rain said, like you said, I know too much. Now it's less fun. Well, it's also less fun because the owners and the Players Association made it less fun. They made it less fun because it's now more complicated to do all this stuff. The aprons made it so much more complicated to make trades and things like that. You got teams like legit can't make trades. I like when people confirm Woj's reports. Shout out to Tony Jones. Oh, my guy Tony East did that earlier today with the Obi Toppin thing. I guess Obi Toppin returned too. We got that today, but this is so wild. We are 30 minutes into free agency and literally not one player has signed or moved or anything like that. You guys want to see my dog? Literally nothing is happening right now. Got money that needs to be spent, but you've got to be really smart. Shams Rane just said, with cap space teams, Orlando focus on free agents and Utah focus on current roster decisions. The Knicks working to unhard cap. Sources say the OKC Thunder are in Eugene, Oregon, set to meet with Isaiah Hartenstein. Cool. We knew this. Isaiah Hartenstein would be good on the Thunder. We got someone, even your dog is yawning at free agency. That's right. He is a yapper. He is 100% a yapper. Anybody that walks by my house, he's like, barks at them. If you guys have any tips in the chat for me getting my dog to stop barking at everybody that walks by the house. Batum could be the Maxey replacement? Possibly. But Isaiah Hartenstein would be good on this Thunder team. Does he start? That's an interesting question. Would Isaiah Hartenstein start on the... Who do they got? You'd have Chet. Oh, I guess you could play Chet at the 4. You go Jalen. But then you've got Caruso coming off the bench. Oh, shout out to Ryland Styles. Literally just texted me and said Hartenstein wouldn't start. Okay, well, we'll take him off then. So they're bringing Hartenstein in to be a backup. Would still be a good move. You could play him with Chet if you wanted in some lineups. That works. Devin said, I have a 13-year-old yapper dog. It never changes. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking that. I've tried everything. The old Shams tweets are hilarious. Slow night, time for sleep from 2010. Oh, Hartenstein to the Thunder. That would make them a tougher team because then you got another big man option. They desperately need that against the Mavericks. To get Hartenstein and Caruso and give up what? Josh Giddey and nothing else? That'd be a good offseason. I cannot believe how quiet it is right now. I need, what's this one? This one's called Daydreaming. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm daydreaming. Horvat says, this sucks. Yeah, it does. This sucks. I cannot believe there's nothing. I can't believe there's nothing happening right now. No players have changed teams. Nobody's signed with their original teams. This is blowing my mind right now. Everybody's just waiting. They're in a holding pattern. We're 30 minutes into free agency and nothing has happened. No tampering. I guess they're just waiting. But even like, if you're trying to avoid the tampering, yeah, Yeet says, he says as soon as Nick gets off, everything is going to start popping off. That's exactly right. That's why I'm staying on. Because as soon as I leave, a bunch of stuff's going to start happening. Oh, look, we got the Bobby Marks Boston Celtics updated thing now that Cornette is back. Bobby Marks should not have time to update his cap sheet for the Celtics because Luke Cornette returned. He shouldn't have time for that right now. He should be trying to figure out how Zach LaVine's going to work with the Warriors. He should be figuring out Klay Thompson with the Mavericks now. He should be trying to figure out Brandon Ingram with the Kings. He shouldn't have time to go through and post this. Stupid Boston Celtics. They're over the second apron. They're a second apron team. They're really stuck. This is their team. But great team. They're set. Maybe we're an hour early. Yeah, maybe since it's 5:30 right now, maybe they thought it was 6 Central. Nothing is happening. Will Johnson has fallen asleep. Matthew is frustrated that nothing is happening. Waka is upset that the free agency is. Do a no sleep challenge. I've got other things to do today. I may do a no sleep challenge just because the stream is going long. Slightly made the call into Adam Silver. He put the kibosh on free agency till he's back. Yeah, literally nothing happened. We got to update this. 5:34. Why would the end? So Jeff Cooperstein just said the NBA absolutely told teams to not announce deals because this is BS. Well, then wouldn't they just wait? They've got these live shows going right now. This is one of the most times when people are locked in. We got 1,800 people. Shout out to the Raccoon Squad. 1,800 people in this chat right now watching my camera lag live to watch free agency. And we got all this interest. Why wouldn't they eventually wait 15 minutes and then announce your deals? And we're 35 minutes in now. And nothing has happened. It's because of the CBA. It's because it's too tough to do a lot of these things. Ruben, the rest of the NBA has Spectrum Internet. That's right. They've made the moves. They've told them to Woj, but it's just taking forever for them to show up because they also have Spectrum Internet. I saw a bunch of people say Spectrum is terrible. I get it. It's the only one I can get at my place. It's very tough. So we're hanging out. We changed the music just for fun. This one's called Night Driving. This one gonna put you to sleep. Nick, we are bored. Do a stand-up comedy set. So the New York Knicks have never tampered at all and have always done things above board and have always done things that are for the good of the NBA and for mankind and have never, ever stolen somebody that should have returned back to the Mavericks. Is that stand up enough? Yeah, Michael just said change your Wi-Fi router. I did. I tried a new one and it didn't work. They're gonna wait an hour. I don't know. We're 36 minutes in. They're just gonna let us sit and speculate. Nick, have you been watching Acolyte? I watched the first couple episodes. I was like, it's okay. But I've seen people complain about it, but people always complain about Star Wars everything, so I'm not caught up with it. I was doing that. I was trying to catch up because I didn't watch Gen V, so I was trying to watch that. I got to the scene in the dorm room when the thing happens and I had to stop. So Triple D says run Ethernet, not Wi-Fi. This is my problem. Is my Ethernet stopped working on my router. So it worked forever. I had great internet. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden my Ethernet stopped working. And so then I brought in, or my internet stopped working at all one day. I brought in the Spectrum guy, brought in 3 different guys, and they all told me that it was my computer that messed up with my Ethernet and not. I'm like, okay. There's like literally no reports or anything. We've got Nick do a freestyle. Nick sing a song. What am I? I'm a circus monkey for you guys. Okay, Jose said Disney broke Star Wars. No, Disney did exactly what they did with Marvel, is that they overdid it and they did too much of it. Because Disney has done some great stuff with Star Wars. Disney did the 7th season of Clone Wars. Disney did The Mandalorian, season 1 and 2 were incredible. Disney did the moment from the Obi-Wan Kenobi show with Hayden Christensen comes back. Incredible stuff that Disney did. Didn't they do, they did so much stuff. Andor, yeah, that's the one I was missing. They did freaking Andor. They've done a bunch of really great stuff, but they've also done a bunch of stuff that's just like, ugh, not great either. Bad Batch, yeah, Zombie Frog, great. Bad Batch is great. Did Disney do Rogue One? Because if they did Rogue One, then they did the best Star Wars movie, just as a movie. Thoughts on the Netflix version of Avatar: The Last Airbender? How long ago was that? Was that like a year? Seems like it was so long ago. Slightly Biased is not here. Slightly Biased is in Europe. He's staying away from his phone. And I'm writing down all the things that happened in free agency. So far, I've written down like nothing. Nothing has happened. And I'm gonna be on his stream, and I'm gonna tell him all the things that happened because he's not gonna know what happened. And I'm very excited for it. And so we also wrote down some made up moves. If you got any made up moves, since apparently there are no moves happening at all right now, tell me some moves that I should have. Tell me some moves that I should tell Slightly, even if nothing happens. I have not watched House of the Dragon yet. You guys think I have all this time to watch this TV? Jose said 90% shit, 10% decent. No, I just named like 5 things that Disney did that was good Star Wars. You literally got nothing. Oh, Jake Fisher. Okay, here we go. I'm counting this because nothing else is literally happening. I'm counting this one. Jake Fisher, friend of the show, with Russell Westbrook having opted into his $4 million for the next season. Clippers are now working to find a trade for Westbrook. Okay. I'm gonna do acoustic someone now. No, I don't like this one. I hate this one, actually. Let's go back to the feeding the... I have watched X-Men 97. X-Men 97 was excellent. The name's Gambit. Remember it. That was amazing. That was an incredible moment. And that's the same thing with like the Marvel stuff, is that they've done so many things that some of it is excellent, like X-Men 97, and some of it is terrible. Like I haven't even watched, what's the Echo show? I haven't even watched Echo yet. Like I thought Moon Knight was great. So many things. But Russell Westbrook trying to find a trade. The Clippers are all of a sudden like they're powering down. They brought back old James Harden. They're bringing back Kawhi Leonard. Paul George looks like he's gonna leave. How's the audio? Like how's the music? Is it too loud? Let me know. Slightly and I talked about Russell Westbrook before. I think Russell Westbrook would be an okay fit. Like if we're talking about Spencer Dinwiddie, you might as well talk about Russell Westbrook because I think Westbrook may be better than Westbrook was better than Dinwiddie last year. Westbrook may be better if you just want to talk about like a off the bench, change of pace, guy that comes in, defends his ass off every once in a while. Like I don't know. I kind of be fine with Westbrook in a very, very limited role. Is that what he wants? There we are. We're sitting 42 minutes into free agency. I was like hyping you guys up. I was hyping you up for 5 o'clock Central. Who shoots better, Westbrook or Dinwiddie? Dinwiddie shoots better, but only for the Mavericks. Apparently, because Dinwiddie goes anywhere else, and you're like, wait, what the heck? This is Spencer Dinwiddie. Dallas, 40% from 3. Dallas, 40% from 3. Brooklyn, 28% from 3. Brooklyn, 32% from 3. Lakers, he shot 39. He played 28 games, but Washington, 31% from 3. Mavericks, 40. Imagine Klay Thompson getting those shots. That's what we're talking about with Klay Thompson. This is insane. What is this music that's playing right now? Feeding the ducks. We're feeding them ducks. They're not feeding us. They're not feeding us free agents. Shout out to 1,700 of you that have stuck with this stream right now. Literally nothing's happening. Hoop Central has reported the Clippers are trying to work out a find and trade for Russell Westbrook. They're aggregating a Russell Westbrook sign and trade possibility. That's a bad sign. That means nothing interesting is happening right now. Shout out to all of you. Subscribe to the show. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. That's like my next big goal on YouTube. I want to catch Locked On Fantasy Basketball. That's the goal. Let's do Daedrin. Let's do a different one. We've got the report that Nick Batum will not be part of the 76ers again. Any cool stories while traveling to cover the finals? I think I've told a lot of them on the show. I keep going back to the Tim Hardaway Jr. was on my flight. Going to... Oh, somebody said update your Chrome. Oh, a new Chrome is available. Ooh. If I update my Chrome, then this will go away. Everything goes away. I don't want to do that. This is not free agency, it's free chatting. Just chatting. What's the thing on Twitch? The just chatting? Just chatting. That's what we're doing. Do you hoop? I hoop it slightly every once in a while. I'm 6'3", so I'm bigger than most guys that play, the most people that play like just around, but I'm not very good. We've got the report that Klay Thompson's gonna meet with the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Sixers. I guess he's like legit meeting with them. This is not like, remember when Brunson was like, I'm meeting with the Mavs and the Heat and the Knicks, and the Heat were like, no, he's not. Remember when that happened? I'm an undersized guard at 6'3". Yeah, but for like a normal human, I'm a center. Even Josh Hart is like 6 p.m. was anticlimactic. Even the NBA players know. This is insane. Like this is actually wild. Everybody says this. Everybody says, met you and slightly at your live stream event, and y'all were both taller than I thought. Yeah, everybody says that. I get that literally every single time somebody meets me at a Mavs game. Which, by the way, shout out to all of you. If I met one of you at a Mavs game this year, that was awesome. I love meeting you guys. I love getting to see who's part of the Raccoon Squad, giving you a sticker, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Tony East makes a good point here. A lot of people suggesting this slow start to free agency is because of tampering avoidance, which I don't think that's what it is. I think it's because Anunoby, Siakam, Quickly, Harden, Claxton, Monk, Patrick Williams, Royce O'Neal, Obi Toppin, and Kevin Love have already happened. You did not also just include Kevin Love. That list. Royce Anunoby, Siakam. This guy's getting $100 million, and also Kevin Love. This is so insane. 46 minutes into NBA free agency. Are we getting new stickers next year? So everybody keeps asking me about these stickers. Let It Ride stickers. A listener just made these and gave them to me, and I don't know who the listener is. So I've got to find her and get that to be able to get those new stickers, but they're awesome. But like, I didn't create that, so I don't feel good about making those and then. Oh, Shams just reported that the Clippers are actively working on trades to move Russell Westbrook. Jake Fisher reported that multiple minutes ago. Gotta wait. A couple people are saying they think it might pop off at 6. Jenna. Jenna says, is the raccoon wearing a condom? Don't make me look back at. I'm not looking at it like that. You can't make me look at that sticker. That's a violation. Yeah, Woj and Shams are both taking a nap. They could also be openly brawling and fighting in the streets right now. Who would win in a fight, Woj or Shams? Shams is younger, much younger. Woj is bigger though. Woj is a lot bigger than Shams. Shams is like a short guy. Shams is probably like 5'8", 5'9". Woj is probably 6 foot. Who you got, Woj or Shams in a fist fight? Just straight up. Their phones. Let's. Here's the scenario. Shams and Woj are on either side of a street. The other's phone is on the opposite side of the street. They have to fight to get to their phone so they can tweet NBA rumors. They gotta meet in the middle and fight. Whoever wins gets to their phone first. Why is Isaac talking about showers? What is the best setting for water on the hose? This is what it's come to? This is what it's come down to. We're talking about Woj and Shams fighting. I don't even have a hose at my house. I have a condo. I don't even have a hose. I got hose, but no hose. That's a bar right there. Nothing is. This is insane. All right, we're 11 minutes away from 6 o'clock Central. A couple people are saying they're waiting an hour for things to start happening. I think it's because the CBA has made it too difficult for a bunch of things to happen all at once. Sham says the Nuggets have interest in Westbrook. That would make a lot of sense. Is that how you spell erasure? Matt George on Brandon Ingram. So the Sacramento Kings have been rumored to trade for Brandon Ingram. Matt George says, in many ways, Brandon Ingram would be a dream pickup for Sacramento, not trying to rain on any Kings fans' parade. Just putting the complications the Kings Pelicans could be working out through here. Didn't even mention Sac would have to pay Ingram at the end of the season. I don't understand. Why were you making a... Didn't sound like he was... Westbrook has interest in playing in Denver. So Westbrook and Denver, what do we think about Westbrook and Denver? Does that move the needle for you at all? They lose Reggie Jackson, probably lose KCP. They get Westbrook. Can we please bring back Grant Williams? I would like to find one other person in the chat that wants to bring back Grant Williams. I'll wait. Keep Grant where he's thriving. This is so weird that we've been almost an hour and I have not been able to update this list at all. Not the Mavericks moves, not the NBA moves. Bunch of no's for the Grant Williams thing. Bunch of no's. The tweet deck's not even moving. I'm gonna update it. Are people just not tweeting? the Westbrook thing is like the only movement we've had in the last couple of minutes. If you're just joining us, I'm Nick Angstadt. I'm the host of Locked On Mavs. My internet is bad because of Spectrum, so thank them. So that's my camera is weird. And we are also a 5-day-a-week Dallas Mavericks podcast all throughout the offseason. We will continue to cover them all throughout the season, and I'll do it every day until stuff stops happening. We're waiting on for the Mavericks. We're waiting on Klay Thompson news. There's the only real report for the Mavericks, and I probably don't have to scroll too far back. Yeah, just scroll like 5 tweets. Klay Thompson plans to have discussions with the Mavericks, Lakers, Clippers, 76ers in the opening hours of free agency. So we're waiting on Klay Thompson. We're waiting on Paul George. He's kind of the big fish that needs to move for all these other little pieces. I'm not even going to read that one out loud. But we're waiting on a bunch of other moves to be made, and nothing has really happened. It's been almost an hour, and we've been sitting here. James Harden went back to the Clippers. No players have moved teams. Literally none. Not even like a small one. But for the Mavericks, there is a possibility for them to move. There's a possibility for them to go get Klay Thompson, to keep Derrick Jones Jr., and to have the biennial exception as well. There's a CBA Mavs. He made this great cap sheet where this is how the Mavericks do that. They trade Josh Green. They bring Klay Thompson probably into the exception a little bit. And this is how you can make it work. Here's a bunch of numbers. We're waiting on anything to happen. Literally, we're 54 minutes into this and nothing has happened. I've been going live for almost 2 hours. I feel like Kai Cenat. He just gets on and nothing's happening. He plays should I play a game? I got Breath of the Wild downstairs. I got Tears of the Kingdom. Should I just start playing that? That'd be more interesting than this. I start streaming a game. That'd be fun. Start building stuff in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Could play chess. Could play chess against Bobby Karalla. Actually, I could bring Isaac on because Isaac, he could, there's nothing to talk about. Play some Kendrick. I can't play stuff on YouTube because of the copyrights. I wish I could just play music. I can only play this weird stuff. I could bring Isaac on because nothing is happening. Play NBA hoop grids. I did not expect to be sitting here. Oh, here we go. Here's something we can debate. Zach Edey plans to play at Summer League for the Grizzlies rather than playing for Canada in the Olympics. I have a duty now to properly prepare for all that is coming my way with being drafted by the Grizzlies. What would you rather do? Let's say Derek Lively had this same opportunity last year. Would you rather him play for, well, it would have been Team USA. Would you rather him play for Team USA Select, or would you rather, he wouldn't actually play on the team, but would you rather him play for Team USA Select or Summer League for the Mavericks? If you were the Mavs, what would you rather do? Because I think this is an interesting thing. It's the only interesting thing happening. A couple people saying Team USA Select. The chemistry is more important. Well, it depends on the Summer League team. You may not be playing with anybody that'll play on the regular season team. So like literally just what level of basketball do you think is better for a player's development? And an international Olympics, or when's the last time Woj tweeted? Literally 34 minutes ago. Woj hasn't tweeted in 37 minutes. Opening hours of free agency, Woj has tweeted 2 times in 1 hour. What a weird scenario we're all in right now. This feels like a Black Mirror episode. What if, this is a Black Mirror episode, what if we feed them all these NBA rumors for years and years and years at exactly one time, at exactly 5 o'clock Central every year, and then we take it away? What happens? What would they do? How would they respond? We take away their precious rumors. Why don't you just make up a tweet that the Mavs signed Klay? Yahoo Sports, the Denver Nuggets have considered avenues to add Russell Westbrook. This is not like a report. Every team does this. I guess we're all waiting for Paul George. Trey Kirby is right. We all wait for Paul. There you go. I just did a Bible joke. That one's for Isaac. Oh, here we go. Keith Pompey. I gotta text this to Isaac. He'll appreciate this joke. Our boy Keith Pompey, the host of Locked On 76ers. Tobias Harris receiving free agency interest from Pistons, Jazz, Spurs, and Mavericks. We got a rumor. Finally. Tobias Harris would be an interesting pivot. I think he comes off the bench. I think he just literally replaces Tim Hardaway Jr. You start Derrick Jones Jr., but Tobias Harris is he's 6'9". He can hit a three. He can get his own shot a little bit here and there. He's really good at like the short mid-range stuff, which is something the Mavericks need to add. They need one more guy that could do that. He's somebody that could. He's not as good as a three-point shooter as Tim Hardaway Jr., but he's better at that creating his own shot kind of stuff. Mick said he's not coming off the bench. Well, if Jason Kidd tells him to, he is. Who's stopping them? Their knees. What do you think about Tobias Harris? Let's say they can keep Derrick Jones Jr. and they get Tobias Harris. Who's interested in that? Yes or no in the chat. I cannot believe how boring this has been. I've got chips. Should I just sit and eat chips? Bunch of no's on Tobias Harris. A bunch of no's. Tobias Harris, the interesting thing with Tobias Harris is that how bad he was in the playoffs. $17 points a game in the regular season. Now it's because of Embiid was out for so long, but 17 points a game in the regular season, shot 48%, 35% from three free throw attempts a game. Now remember, this is because Embiid was out for a lot of the time, so he's taking 13 shots a game. He's making up for Embiid not being there. Playoffs, 8 shots a game, 9 points a game. It just goes way down. I mean, it just changes completely for him. I cannot believe how nothing's happening. Ooh, Zach Lowe just said, I don't think Philly has enough to get this player, but a player I would keep my eye on is Lauri Markkanen. How would they even do that? Stein is even saying, when hour into free agency, a lot of us are openly pining for the good old days of deals already being done at 6:01. There you go, Isaac. Isaac's proud of me for my New Testament joke. Shout out to the 1,700 of you that are still here trying to wait till something happens in free agency. I literally think as soon as I end this stream, stuff will happen. Oh, here we go. Namias Keita agreed to multi-year deal to stay with the Boston Celtics. I'm adding it to the list. Oh my gosh, that's so dumb. Yeah, the Warriors basically, Isaac just has been texting me. The Warriors just said, just turning down a Wiggins for Zach LaVine swap is kind of crazy. If you're the Warriors, why do you not do the Wiggins for Zach LaVine swap? You just want to get out from under the money? You don't like the fourth reporter now, third reporter now to say that Westbrook is trying to find a trade partner with the Clippers. So he's, well, I guess that he took it a step further. Westbrook is not coming back to the. Here we go. We got one. We got a real one here from Michael Scotto. It's exactly what you thought. 76ers free agent center Andre Drummond has agreed to a 2-year, $10 million deal. The first player to change teams. The first player to change teams at 6:03. Back to the Sixers. 2 years, $10 million. The first player to change teams. The first player to change teams. There you go. Shams just reported it. So Michael Scotto got him on that one. An hour and 3 minutes in. Oh my gosh. Good for them to get Drummond back. They needed that backup center. Wear your Vader mask until the Klay news breaks. My dog is even upset about this. Drummond just tweeted, I'm in the mood for a Philly cheesesteak. It's pretty good. It's pretty good twittering. So, what else we got? In space? Andre Drummond changes teams. That's the big news. That's the first actual... Oh, that's the first player to change teams. It's Andre Drummond. Kristen likes this song. Kristen's in on this song. Anyone else? Anyone else in on this song, or are we out? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Hey guys, Adam Mara's on the Westbrook thing. Westbrook on the Nuggets would bring a lot of risk. It doesn't work. It could be if it doesn't work, it could be explosive. But there are things he brings Denver could really use. Yeah, the defense, the attacking, a lot of things that make a lot of sense. A couple people don't like this beat, but a couple people are really in on it. So. Nothing has changed. Andre Drummond going back to the Sixers. Making $5 million a year. Like just a little over the vet minimum. A couple of people were saying the NBA commissioner needs to be fired tonight. Like, I don't know. He's doing what the owners want. The owners did this. For the Mavericks, we're waiting on, yeah, blame CJ McCollum and Grant Williams. Yeah, it's true. They're part of this. Oh my gosh, the ultimate throwback, Jean Clavel. Was it Jean Clavel versus PJ Dozier? Dozier stayed in the NBA longer, but I don't know, neither of them ever did anything. Okay, people are complaining about the music. All right, I'll change it, or I'll just get rid of it. Huh? If you're gonna complain about the music, I'll just get rid of it. Lo-fi. Is this one any good? Map signed Josh Powell 2-year deal. Way throwback. We are all just waiting on things to happen. Play some trap. I only have like a couple options here. Can we get the intro on repeat? Not until something has happened. We can't let it ride until something happens. I can give you this one. Or how about this one?
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine. Don't let his lightness take away from his quickness. You can rest later. You're young. I never recovered here.
Wait. One more thing.
How about that one? Is that one good? We like this one? This has got a little pep to its step. The Hardy Party one. The Hardy Party music back. The NBA has become less interesting. The draft and free agency now, I mean, it's just... I guess we had the Mikal Bridges deal. There are still trades that happen. I'm literally just waiting until something happens because I know as soon as I get off, something's gonna happen. I need a recovery beer. I also need a recovery beer. I got water instead. Yeah, Mavsman said it's because of the new CBA. Yeah, this is all because of the new CBA. The new CBA made it so that there's teams that just are so limited with what they can do that now the teams that can do something have the time to sit and wait and to like really make sure that what they do is exactly what they need to do. Yeah, Marcus Morris. I'm out on Marcus Morris.
I'm here because I have to be.
Let's play it again. Oh, the really old Lockdown Mavs, the 360 in the con. Yeah, that was a song we didn't own the rights to.
One more thing.
Ooh, the Pelicans have expressed interest in Wendell Carter Jr. Ooh. I cannot believe how boring this has been. We're an hour into we're 71 minutes into free agency, and we've gotten Andre Drummond. I guess Paul George is just holding the league hostage right now. What's everybody doing this weekend? I'm bored too, Brendan. I thought for sure we'd have stuff to talk about. We're waiting on Klay Thompson. The NBA is waiting on Paul George, I think. Yeah, the $2 million fine if teams announce trades too fast. Yeah, but now we're an hour in. If we let go of Mavs, man, can we get Paul George? No. The Clippers, can we trade Chuck the Duck, the Condor? Can we trade the Condor for Mavs, man? No, Mavs, man is part of the Raccoon Squad. I have since changed my stance on Mavs man. He is, if he's part of the Raccoon squad, that means he's 100%. He's 100% in. How do you eat a mango? Is Klay Thompson coming to die? I guess we can redo this. It's been like 2 hours since I've done the Klay Thompson thing. So Klay Thompson is having meetings with the Mavericks, the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Sixers to all try and figure out how to get Klay Thompson, if Klay Thompson is going to be available, all that kind of stuff. The Mavericks can offer Klay Thompson more money, I believe, because first of all, they don't have a state income tax. So you got to think about that. But they have the exception for when they traded Tim Hardaway Jr. They can bring in Quinn Grimes into their biannual exception, then create another exception for that. So then you can make things happen for sure and get Klay Thompson some more money. But Klay Thompson has to decide between playing in LA, I guess Philadelphia, and playing in Dallas. So, and that's tough. Klay Thompson's dad played for the Lakers. His dad is the color commentator, like longtime beloved color commentator for the Lakers. Klay is also signed to Anta, though, which is the same shoe company that Kyrie is signed to. Kyrie is the chief creative officer for Anta basketball. That's notable. They've got that connection. Those shoe companies always bringing people together. And does anybody know somebody that knows shoes companies better than anyone else in the entire world? Probably. Yeah, it's the Mavs GM, president of basketball operations, Nico Harrison. So Klay Thompson for the Mavericks makes a lot of sense. He comes in and immediately is that shooter that the Mavs have needed, that they wanted Tim Hardaway Jr. to be. He's a guy that could play in the finals where you go, all right, Klay, you can play in that spot and you can knock down some of these threes. He can defend credibly enough. His age is definitely a concern. He's 34. He's going to be 35 in February. So you're definitely concerned about the age, especially if he wants a 3-year deal. Well, there are concerns. Was I Team Edward or Team Jacob? I was neither. I did not see any of those movies or read any of those books. I think I'm Team Jacob because Taylor seems cooler, but I guess Edward was or who played Edward, what's his name? He was a good Batman. I cannot believe how boring this is. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. We are 75 minutes into free agency and Andre Drummond. Here we go. Kevin Porter Jr. You can't get me to. I'm not playing the breaking news music. You can't get me to play the breaking news music for Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are the Clippers doing? Yeah, all things Mavs pointed out. They brought in Josh Primo and now Kevin Porter Jr. What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh my gosh. 2-year deal too. It's probably got an option at the end of it. Yeah, this is. I gotta play music again because I'm just gonna sit here in silence thinking about how we're talking about Kevin Porter Jr. in 2024, year of our Lord. Yuck. Yuck. I guess I gotta write it down. Damn. Ugh. That is disgusting work by the Clippers right there. I am not for that. Jamming that Casio. Yeah, it's like one of those keyboards. You hit the automatic music button. Yeah, I do have to gaslight slightly to thinking these moves are crazy. He's actually going to be blown away by how slow everything was. Porter previously reached a plea agreement on a third-degree reckless assault misdemeanor in January. He's in the process of completing a court-ordered program, and once completed, this plea moved to not guilty with no criminal record. Yeah, okay. He did it. It's like, okay. God. Where's car? This is the greatest question we've got here. Worst car battery type of all time? I got nothing. I got 0 car batteries. Go to the gas station. Oh, go to gas station snack. I've been doing the on the road when I was going to a bunch of games. I would do the Chex Mix, the cheddar Chex Mix. That was my go-to. Always water. I don't drink anything else. Sponsored by eBay Motors. Car batteries sponsored by eBay Motors. Oh my gosh, how boring is this? How is this possible? 80 minutes into free agency. We've got Andre Drummond, Kevin Porter Jr., Nemias Keita going back to the Celtics, Luke Cornett, Kevin Love. That's literally all the moves that have happened. Honestly, somebody in the Subversive says, I think slightly peaked. Oh, peaked? Oh, I thought you meant peaked like... I cannot believe how this is happening. Worst character from Avatar? Oh, it's the old guy that gives him up in the Earth Kingdom. That guy sucks. The worst one is the Fire Lord. I mean, let's be real. He's like a dictator Nazi. Like, he wants to take out races of people. He's the worst one. Come on. How is this still happening? This being nothing. Best restaurant side dish. If you guys have ever been to Street's Chicken, their brie mac and cheese is beautiful. It's delicious. Mac and cheese, probably the best side dish, right? Mac and cheese or mashed potatoes. A great mashed potato is... That's going to be best restaurant side dish. Greetings from Mexico. Hello, Mexico. I went to Oaxaca last year. It was great. I enjoyed my time there. Ate really great food. Favorite Seinfeld episode? I don't know if I can think of individual episodes. Yeah, actually, Phantom says, actually, Klay is top tier. Yeah, considering the players that are moving right now, Klay would be a top free agent right now. Just literally holding on. I did try crickets in Oaxaca. They were great. Heat people are doing threads on Kevin Love. Oh my gosh. No soup for you. That is what the NBA CBA has said. We're 82 minutes into free agency. We've gotten Andre Drummond and Kevin Porter Jr. is back in the NBA. This is a low for the NBA right here. Is this live? Steven, yeah, this is live. Absolutely live. How could I not do this live? Look how bad my camera is. Absolutely live. John asks, what are your thoughts on Hawk Tua? The act or the viral clip? Because the viral clip, if you've seen it, it's wild that girl got fired from her job. That's why I read that. I read that she got fired from her job. She was like either a babysitter or a preschool teacher. I read both. But that girl, her laugh was awesome. Her energy was great. Like the aura around that girl was amazing. And that's why it was so like captivating. Yeah, Hunt says the girl lost her job for that clip. Her dad was a pastor. She was just having fun. Isn't it out in like Nashville or whatever? Some people are saying that it's fake that she didn't lose her job, but it's wild. It was a hilarious clip, but it's wild. It's wild what can happen in the internet right now. Just one clip goes crazy viral and it changes your life in either a great way or an awful way. Oh, Jeff Ziegler. Whoa. Okay, Jeff Ziegler's a legit reporter. Okay, wait. We might have a thing. We might have a first real thing. I'm doing it. Jeff Ziegler of USA Today reports that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leaving the Denver Nuggets and headed to the Orlando Magic on a 3-year deal. This would be absolutely wild. The Denver Nuggets would lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That would be huge for any team in the West. He's a great point of attack defender. He's a credible offensive player. Now, did Jokic make him better offensively? Sure, yeah, absolutely. But for the Orlando Magic, this is a crazy good move. Helps their defense. Their defense is already great. Oh my gosh. But, oh my gosh. Can you imagine trying to score on Suggs, KCP, Jonathan Isaac? Oh my gosh. Try to score on that lineup. They're already a great defensive team. But also, this would take Paul George and this would take Paul George out of the runnings for them. And this is great for every team in the West, including the Dallas Mavericks, who now do not have to deal with KCP. And who's going to guard Luka and who's going to guard Kyrie? You're asking Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. Two of those three are guarding Luka and Kyrie when the Nuggets play. Like the Nuggets are, this is tough, man. It's tough to give multiple big contracts to a team, to players, and then try and build a team in this new CBA. Yeah, this doesn't have to be a sign and trade. A lot of people are saying, is this a sign and trade? No, the Denver Nuggets didn't want to do a sign and trade with the Mavericks, and maybe they didn't want to do one with anybody else. Shout out to Jeff Ziegler, too. Shout out to the reporters getting stuff before Shams and Woj. Jeff Ziegler gets this one. Michael Scotto got the Drummond thing before Woj and Shams. Law Murray says that the Kevin Porter Jr. thing is a minimum. That's good. At least they didn't give him actual money. But KCP going to the East. Let's go. One less good defender. One less problem without you. Got one less problem without you. And Denver, this is tough for them. Christian Brown goes to the shooting guard spot. So they lose Bruce Brown a year ago. They lose KCP now. It's tough to keep a Kevin Porter Jr. got a player option and a 15% trade kicker. What the?
Dallas.
That was me flatlining. Because why did Kevin Porter Jr. get a player option and a trade kicker on his minimum deal? Oh my God. I'm going to flatline again. He's flatlining. We can't get him. We can't revive him. 3 years, $66 million for KCP in Orlando. Wow, Woj confirms. Good job, Jeff Ziegler. Great for him, man. KCP, 3 years, $66 million. Good for him. That's a fine deal. Don't laugh at me. $22 million a year. Don't laugh at me for opening up the calculator app. Good job for way to go, KCP, getting that deal. Way to go, Orlando Magic, for getting a free agent. They got a free agent. They're a destination. Good for them. You build your team. You get good players. You have a good culture with Jamal Mosley at the helm. Like, great for them. Awesome stuff. Good move for them. Love that for the Magic. He's got to come in and start, right? KCP's got to come in and start. So it's what? They got Wendell Carter Jr. They're making moves and trades on. Got the two wings, Franz and Paolo. KCP. Then is it Suggs probably? What do they do with Markelle Fultz? That's pretty fun. We got some actual news. Got an actual free agency news. Good for the NBA. It only took you 90 minutes. It only took you 90 minutes to get an actual trade. I got a text from a Mavs employee that he's dying to talk free agency, but he can't. It's his first one as a real employee. You guys can decide who it is. He's dying over there. Shout out to everybody that's still here. 1,800 strong. The Raccoon Squad is strong. The brand is strong. And shout out to Spectrum for making my internet bad so that my camera isn't working very well right now. The stream is not brought to you by Spectrum. It is, unfortunately, but they are not paying me to do it. They're actually giving me bad internet. It's not Bobby Corolla. He's had many off seasons as a Mavericks employee. He's probably sleeping right now, taking a nap. Bobby Corolla? Was he a Toyota car? But Denver, though, all of a sudden Denver is down bad. Let's do Denver's cap. Because all of a sudden now Denver, they lose KCP. They lost Bruce Brown last year. They move Christian Brown to starting lineup. That's fine. He's going to replace a lot of the things that KCP could do. Spotrac is hurting right now. Too many people trying to log on. So this is the next couple of years for them. Oh, we got to write the KCP deal down. They got Jokic, obviously, great. Murray, Porter Jr., Gordon, Christian Brown, great. That's a fine starting lineup. Like, that's a really good starting lineup still. It may not be the best in basketball. It may be a touch slow, but that's great. But then what do they got after that? Zeke Naji's not been a viable player. They just extended Murray. Got DeAndre Jordan still. Strawther and Peyton Watson. Strawther was something here and there. Peyton Watson was something here or there. They drafted Deron Holmes. We got Chanchar's hold. Justin Holiday's hold. They get off of that KCP hold, though. So, I don't know. Wild for them. Let's add KCP. Where was Jeff Siglitz? 623. We got our first actual real deal. Do I want to do? I'm gonna go back to this. Good for them. Should I write who reported it? Of course, Shams got this one. That'll be slightly. Will think that's as funny as the other stuff. Like that it wasn't Woj or Shams that reported these. It was Michael Scotto and Jeff Ziegler and Zilgit. I keep saying Ziegler. It's Zilgit. Oof. Yeah, Clippers are down bad right now because they're probably going to lose Paul George. They just signed Kevin Porter Jr. Oh my God. And then the Nuggets are losing guys now too. Zigglet does sound like a Pokemon. Zigglet is like the baby version of Diglett. Peyton Watson and Deron Holmes could be solid for them, but like they're young players coming off their bench, and they could get Westbrook though. Westbrook could help them, but all of a sudden Westbrook could be playing a big role for them. KCP player option in year 3, that makes sense. Well, yeah, here's Bobby Marks on the Nugget situation. They're really close to being under the tax. They're under the first apron, so they got some breathing room and some financial flexibility. They've only got 5 players plus Deron Holmes, whatever Deron Holmes is. Peyton Watson is good, but key free agent Justin Holiday. Oof, that's a tough one. Yeah, Denver Nuggets slowly breaking down here. And with no real way to like replace him either. Christian Brown's gonna replace him a little bit, but they can only do really minimums. They should have the full mid-level though with KCP gone. They stay under that first apron, so they should be able to get somebody. Is it a real shame, NBA University? Is it a real shame for them to lose Bruce Brown and KCP? Multiple off seasons. I think we're feeling good about that. I think we're good. Joker to a lot of people in the chat are saying Joker to Dallas next year. Like, I don't know. There we go. We got a new Oh, Panda Hank tweeted, slightly biased, going to come back on July 12th just to catch up on 10 deals. What else we got? Nothing happening. 95 minutes into free agency, we got Andre Drummond, Kevin Porter Jr., and KCP. What a weird thing. Here's Uncle Drew. Shout out to Kyrie, Uncle Drew in the chat. Do we really want Klay Thompson on the Mavericks? Yes. If you can keep Derrick Jones Jr. and it all it takes is Josh Green, then you improve Josh Green to Quinn Grimes, and you improve Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson, and let Kid figure out the lineups and stuff. Let him figure out the egos. Let him figure that all out. Tyler B says Klay is old AF. Yeah, he is. But he'll be able to shoot threes until the end of time. And you pay for that. You pay for a guy. Think about the finals run. Think about all the times that you were like, damn, I just wish they had one more guy that could hit a credible three. What if that guy was Klay Thompson? What if that guy was Klay Thompson? Could they do it? Joining me right now, I'm gonna bring him in. Looks like he's driving. Are you driving? Let me bring him in right now. Jimmy Crowther, all things Mavs, driving around. You're missing nothing, my friend, if you're driving around and not watching the free agency right now.
That's exactly why I picked this time to go pick up some dinner. I'm like, you know what? We've been sitting here waiting for an hour and a half, and so far I got Luke Cornett, Andre Drummond, and I just saw the KCP news, so I decided I might as well hop on and make things interesting.
Yeah, KCP is now leaving, going to the Orlando Magic. How do you feel about the Nuggets getting worse?
I'm happy about it. I'm all for them going out and getting Russell Westbrook based on the Russell Westbrook that we saw. I mean, I think he would help them, obviously, because they just have no depth right now. But in terms of threats in the West, I mean, it knocks them down a peg. I know Christian Brown is supposed to take that next step, but he's not quite there. He's definitely not KCP, so I'm all about it.
It's like, if anything, Christian Brown steps in and he helps them and can maybe step in and replace what KCP did, but then who replaces what Christian Brown did? That's the other part of it. It's like, okay.
And I
cool.
like Peyton Watson. I like Strother, I guess, but again, like I mean, for a team that's trying to win a championship, not quite there.
No, it's tough.
So,
They'll lose Bruce Brown one year, they lose KCP the next year, and the championship Nuggets are slowly like crumbling in front of us.
well, and it's funny because I mean, when the odds first dropped for Klay Thompson, it was all Orlando, and then Dallas snuck in, late last week, and then odds dropped for KCP, and it was us and Orlando at the top again. And so I tweeted it out when it dropped. I was like, oh, it sounds like the loser of one of those sweepstakes is going to be the winner of the other. So hopefully that's what ends up happening, but we're going to see.
Yeah, it's good for the Magic. I'm happy for the Magic. They get a free agent, like a pretty big name free agent according to this, like, free agency.
Yeah, I mean, does he slots in at the 2? Who's their starting point guard? Suggs?
That's what I would think that they would have. But then they also do it by committee with the 2 wings and whatever Fultz decides to do.
I was gonna say Fultz is a really enticing name for us, but I don't know. We have to give him the biannual, I would assume, and I don't know. Shout out to CBA Mavs, probably saving all of our lives, because I have no idea if we have that biannual or not. So I have no idea.
Yeah, there's people that have talked about if they bring in Quentin Grimes with the biannual exception, because they could trade him into that, then you don't have it assigned, but then you have a bigger exception and maybe go get Klay or somebody else.
Yeah, I tweeted out something like, "Oh, okay, so we're gonna trade Grimes into the biannual and then use the MLE," and then everybody called me an idiot and said I need to check my math with CBA Mavs. So I was like, I just deleted it. I was like, forget it. I don't know what I'm talking about. So.
Never mind. We'll just wait. That's one of the things I'm like, let's just wait till it all happens, and then I'll tell you how it happened after that, right?
Yep. So what's your? I know your smoke screen. One more thing show. I know you probably talked about this earlier in the stream, but
that's all right. It's been a couple hours.
Yeah. So you weren't super high up on Klay, but I know there was a lot of because of this. So where are you at now?
Yeah, I don't think it's a smokescreen anymore. It could be from Klay's side still. Like, he could be using the Mavs as leverage. I mean, we've been versed in that. If you've followed the Mavs for a while, you know that they've been used in the past. But to me, it seems like the Mavs definitely have interest in him. But there's been enough reports where I don't think it's a smokescreen on the Mavericks side anymore. My whole thing was both sides could be using each other. But now there definitely seems to be interest on the Mavs side. And it kind of makes sense. Like, it makes sense if you're upgrading Tim Hardaway Jr. to Klay Thompson, and you think that Quentin Grimes is an upgrade on Josh Green, then you've just upgraded 2 spots, and you just let Kid figure out the rotations and the lineups and the egos and all that kind of stuff of bringing Klay Thompson in, because he at least gets you a credible 3-point shooter that they desperately needed in the playoffs. How many times do we watch this team in the playoffs and go, can we just get one more viable shooter out there? Can you just get one more guy that is okay on defense and can hit a 3-point shot? And that guy is Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Where are you at with Grimes as an upgrade over Josh? Because I think in certain areas he's no doubt an upgrade, but I still think, I'm assuming Josh Green is on the outs, assuming Klay Thompson's coming in, but I have Josh Green still a little bit above Quentin Grimes overall, but I think Grimes can get there. What do you think?
Grimes for the Knicks 2 years ago was the guy that guarded the best player on the other team. And I think he did a good job. I think he's a better point of attack defender, and that's a need for the Mavericks. He's been a credible to good 3-point shooter unless he's playing for a 14-win team. And so, I think he could be a step up. He's not going to be the playmaker that Josh Green is. He's not maybe going to be the get the ball and go get a shot. But Josh really hasn't become that either. Josh really hasn't taken that step forward in either of those areas, and the areas that we hoped. Josh has been fine, and Josh has come in and played a role and done some things. But yeah, I don't know. I just think he's an upgrade in those 2 areas. The shooting consistency. He's going to shoot more volume than what Josh Green has been, and then the defense for sure I think is an upgrade, and that's the area that you need him the most.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, I think if I were just to put them side by side, I'd probably put Josh a little bit higher, but for what this team needs, I'm with you on Grimes. Especially, I underrated his point of attack defense. Watching some of the clips that panned to Hank,
yeah.
Thank God for his highlight videos, because some of those clips, and like you said, he was guarding he went from guarding Jimmy Butler to Donovan Mitchell to Trae Young to Chris Middleton, all in these clips. And I mean, just locked them all down. I know those are the highlights, of course, but that's what gets us excited.
But still, like it's possible for him to do those things. Incredible. Maybe last thing for you if you've got to go. The Clippers losing Paul George and kind of crashing down a little bit. That's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, crashing out and going with Kevin Porter Jr. and Josh Primo, the backcourt off the bench is
Oh my God.
just quite the move. And I don't think James Harden and Kawhi, best of luck. I don't know what that team's going to be. And frankly, I don't care. I'm all about them being a play-in team next season. So, it's good. I'm glad I got to jump on kind of impromptu, but hopefully we get some good news in the next, before we go to bed.
we're waiting for stuff to happen. That's Jimmy Crowther, All Things Mavs. Thanks for hanging out. Go follow him on Twitter at all_things_Mavs. And thanks for hanging out with us, man.
See you, Nick.
Yeah, we're still we're breaking down whatever happens and whatever things happen here on there's been no Mavs news yet. And so I think we're slowing down here. Not that we ever sped up at all. But I think maybe let's go 3 hours. Let's go to the top of the hour. Let's go to 7 Central and then we'll call it. Yeah, but so Michael Pena just tweeted this about the Nuggets. I think this is a really good point, and all of a sudden it's going to be like what Luka's had to do. I have more faith in Nikola Jokic than any player I've ever seen, but for the Nuggets to mess around into this prime like this is borderline unforgivable. There's going to be so much asked of Jokic now. It's going to be like Luka. They're going to be like, oh, Jokic has got to do more. He's got to score more. He's got to create more for others. He's got to do all this. Yeah, that's what Luka's had to do for years. Just keep taking guys away and all that kind of stuff. Phantom says favorite USB type. I'm a C guy. I'm a type C. Orlando could still have cap room with KCP. I guess if they lose Fultz. Got Cole Anthony Black maybe being something. Oh, I forgot about Tristan Da Silva, who they just drafted. This is my dog, man. Shout out to everybody that was like, a yappy dog never changes. That's right. He doesn't. I think there's some silver linings with the free agency situation. I've been suffering from sleep deprivation, and this free agency has helped cure it. I'm glad you got a nap in. That was a good comment. That's funny. Nuggets are signing OJ Mayo. I should put that one on the slightly fake moves list. Oh my gosh. We're waiting. We're waiting for something to happen. Would you do Josh and Exum for Jonathan Isaac? The thing about Jonathan Isaac, he's got to play. Like, you just got to see it a little bit more. Like, yeah, it'd be great to have him and to have him as a player, but you need guys that are going to play. From stats and info on KCP, Orlando's getting since the 2013-14 season, KCP has played in 96% of regular season games. During the regular season, opponents shot 40.6% when Caldwell Pope was the closest defender per second spectrum. That led the NBA among players to defend 500 plus shots. Great defender. Yeah, the Nuggets are losing that. That's tough. That is a real tough loss for the Nuggets. As much as they're going to try and play it off like, oh, we got Christian Brown, it's going to be fine. Big loss for the Nuggets. And that's great. Paul George leaving the Clippers and KCP leaving the Nuggets. Huge losses for Western Conference teams. And now you start looking at these teams in the West. And like, let's look at the teams from last year. You got the Nuggets lose KCP. Clippers lose Paul George. Suns are struggling. I don't know if they're losing anybody. Warriors losing a bunch of guys. There's 3 teams that are at least going to be worse next year. Teams will be better next year. Thunder get Caruso. They'll probably get somebody else. Gotta expect the Pelicans. Well, the Pelicans get DeJounte Murray. Maybe they do something else. They could be better, but. And then you got the Grizzlies will absolutely be better than last year. Have to think that. Anybody else make any major move? Maybe the Kings do Brandon Ingram, but does that make the Pelicans? Like, how does that change that? So you like got 3 teams in the West that have gotten worse and 3 that have gotten better. So it's like not bad odds there. All right, I'm going 12 more minutes. I'll go a full 3 hours. We'll go till 7 o'clock Central. And then I'm gonna call it. I've got some other stuff that I got to do today for sure. And the NBA is just making me wait here. So the NBA is not working with us. Yeah, Warriors gonna lose Klay. Yeah, Leap has a good point. The Thunder were insanely healthy last year, but they get Caruso. That's a big win for them. Defensively, they'll be so locked down. DeRozan to Orlando, 4 years, 110. He is a free agent, isn't he? DeRozan to Orlando wouldn't make any sense, though. They need is that what they need? They need shooting. Magic, yeah, Magic are doing pretty good. If Nick signs off and the Mavs make a move, will he come back on? No, I'll probably just do the episode with Reggie. I'll just do an actual episode. Really, Nick, what more do you have to do on this fine day? I got other stuff, man. I got jobs. Jobs. The NBA is not doing it. I mean, I'm poking them with a stick. Do something. We got KCP, Andre Drummond, Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, I mean, we may be waiting hours and hours for this. We may be waiting until midnight tonight to get actual moves. This really feels like the NBA is actually taking meetings. Like they actually treated the deadline, the start of free agency, like it's real. All things Mavs just said, KCP to Orlando feels like Wes Matthews to Dallas back in the day. He's a little better than that. He's not coming off a huge injury. Big difference. Stop complaining, you're depressing me. Well, it's just waiting on the NBA to do something. They're making us pay for complaining about tampering. That's right. You guys were complaining about tampering, and now here it is. It's really about the CBA, though. It's not even about tampering at all. Well, the Mavs haven't bring Reggie in for the live show. The Mavs haven't done anything yet. The paint is almost dry. That's right. We've watched the paint dry. We got a little excited with the KCP deal. That was a good one. That brought some good talking points. How do I feel about trading for only Matisse Thybulle? I'd be interested. I'd be interested in Thybulle. He really wants to be a Maverick, the elite defender. If Quentin Grimes is good of a defender as I think he's going to be for the Mavericks, him and Thybulle next to each other would be great. Do him, Thybulle, PJ in the center, and Luka. That's a lineup right there. Klay should get more than KCP. No, he should not. KCP, we just read that stat from Bobby Marks. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. Yeah, he averaged 10 points, but he shot 40% from 3 last year. He's 31. Klay's 4 years older than him. I don't think Klay should get more than KCP. And if he did, he'd have to get it from the Sixers, the Thunder, the Jazz, the Pistons, or his own team. And his own team's not bringing him back, apparently, or he doesn't want to come back to his own team. All right, in the chat, a couple minutes left. What's one thing you want the Mavericks to do? Let me know one thing that you want the Mavericks to do. Average 10 points is a fifth option. Yeah, that's what fifth options do sometimes. He's not getting his own shot. He's just hitting threes. Hitting open shots. You want the Mavs to win. You want the Mavs to do something. I got a lot of something. Improve offense. Get Klay. Get LeBron. Bubba's trick. I don't think that's gonna happen. Is there a chance Mavs get Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson this summer? I don't think so. I don't think they can do both. What, Wiggins making like 26 million? It's a tough go. There's just not enough salaries for the Mavericks to do that. Couple one Jeremy Grant, DeRozan to Dallas. Trade for Kraft dinner. I need dinner right now. That's what I need. Finish 1A and 1B. Yeah, Zlatan says you want finish 1A and 1B. That's to get Derrick Jones Jr. back. We've literally got 3 deals of players changing teams. Yeah, make Nick extend the stream. I will if the Mavs do something. I'll definitely extend it. Sign Batum on a vet min. That'd be a good move. I'd be down for that. Tyler B says, Larry Markkinen or I never sleep again. All right, well, get ready to learn how to keep your eyes open for the rest of time there, bud. They're not going to get Larry Markkinen. It's too much. They're going to ask for 4 first-round picks and a viable young player. Like, they don't have to give him away. There's no incentive for them to do that. They're already going to be bad enough. So they have no guards. Literally nothing. Literally not even like the small signings. I guess we got a couple returning to teams, but everybody's waiting. Nobody wants to use their mid-level exceptions. Dennis is 2 a.m. right now in the Netherlands. Shout out to everybody. All right, if you're in Europe right now, or if you're somewhere where it's like middle of the night, let me know in the chat. Where are you coming from? Where are you in the chat from? And what time is it? Let me know where you're coming from and what time it is there. Because shout out to all of you that are watching at 2 a.m. and super late at night and all that. Sweden, 2 a.m. Netherlands, 2 a.m. Croatia, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. in Spain. 20:55 in Brazil. I don't know what that means. London, 1 a.m. Mexico, Houston, Denmark, 2 a.m. Holland, 2 a.m. Tanzania, 3 a.m. Shout out to you. Amsterdam, 2 a.m. Iceland, midnight. I think people are just making up stuff. Robbie Lewis from my hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio, 7:55. Germany, 2 a.m. Germany, 2 a.m. Austria, 2 a.m. Oak Cliff, 6:55. Same here. London, 1 a.m. Estonia, 2:55. New Zealand, 12 noon. It's noon in New Zealand right now? Portugal. Bristol. Check this out. Norway, almost 2 a.m. Ireland, 1 a.m. That's amazing. I think some of you guys are making up names. Not that you're making up country names, but you're saying you're from that place and you're really not. But if you are, that's pretty awesome. Wakanda, 3:45. That one I got. That one I caught. Oh man. Shout out to everybody in the Raccoon Squad. I love doing these streams. I wish my internet was better to make it work, but I also wish the NBA had given us some more stuff to talk about. The KCP and potential Paul George things are interesting. We didn't have too many spam bots in the chat either. I'm giving it 3 more minutes. I'm giving it 3 more minutes. Let it ride until midnight. I guess the least I can do is give you guys the music. To thank everybody for joining the stream. I'm gonna go to the end, but
I'm Luka Doncic and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
Yeah. Nothing for the Mavericks. The NBA free agency. We are 2 hours into free agency, and we've literally gotten James Harden returned to the Clippers, Luke Cornett and Kevin Love returned to their own teams. If you know which teams there are, that's great for you. Andre Drummond to the Sixers, first player to change teams an hour into free agency. We got Kevin Porter Jr. returning to the NBA to the Clippers. God bless. And we got Kevin Porter Jr. No, we got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope going to the Orlando Magic, 3 years, $66 million deal. Great deal for the Magic and a terrible deal for the Nuggets because they lose a starting, really great defender for them. Their best defender, probably. And we're hanging out. We're waiting on Klay Thompson. We're waiting on Derrick Jones Jr. I think the waiting on Derrick Jones Jr. is waiting on Klay Thompson. They've got to make it all work together. We made it. We made it to 7. It's 3 hours stream right here. Nothing happened. We made it here. Guys, appreciate each and every one of you for jumping in the stream. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I'll post the audio on the podcast. If you're gonna listen to 3-hour audio of me reacting to nothing, that's it's amazing. But yeah, I'll post the audio. Thanks everybody. We appreciate you for jumping in the stream, hanging out with me, and yeah, you'll be able to watch more. Reggie and I will do an actual episode tonight if and when the Mavericks do something, or if they don't, we'll do that. And yeah, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom.